What's going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown Your Questions, episode 69. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
She was Xena, a mighty princess born in the heat of battle.
And since Chris, Brett, and Brian are gone, we got some awesome, dudes helping us out to fill out the cast. So we got Carlos Romero from Otanime.
Howdy, everyone.
And, of course, our good friend Mike A., who you may know from the Co-op.
Hey, what's up, everybody? How's everybody out there doing? Right. I'm coming off the bench right now. Sixth man of the year. Let's go.
There you go. The great bench guys.
Right.
And again, thank you guys for being on. Mad last minute, super last minute.
Yeah, I was actually surprised. I'm like, where are they? Whoa! Is this what we doing here? Is this Otanime?
Oh man, and okay. First things first, a little house cleaning here. I want to thank Danny Pena for being on Throwdown 69. Great episode. I absolutely love that interview, man. A lot of insight from this dude. A lot of really cool stories. That was a lot of fun. So hopefully we'll have him back on again. But yeah, if you guys want to know the history of video game podcasts, listen to that interview, because that is we all stem from Gamer Tag Radio essentially. Those guys paved the way. So massive props to them, obviously. And Chris, reason he can't be here is because of PAX South. He's traveling back now. He's coming from San Antonio, but he's been posting shit to the site. He did impressions of Street Fighter and Umbrella Corps, so they're up on the site now. Go check them out, and he's probably going to have some more. And the last thing, look at me. I have a new camera. Everything's different now.
Yo, man, we still need to do a little bit of levels there. You're looking a little bit desaturated.
No, the problem is this is fucking my lighting is horrible. Gotta fix that.
If you had a more direct light source, you would probably it would be a lot better. But
yeah,
what are you gonna do? You got to work with what you got, right?
Yeah. Well, I got money now, so it's all right. I'll figure it out eventually. So let's get into it. Let's not wasting more time. All right. As always, Final Stage Boss starts us off. This is a good one. How did all of you guys meet each other? So I guess we'll start with me and Manny, our origin story. So I met this dude in junior high school, probably like the second day of junior high school. This was in 1993, I believe. We were both like 13 years old. I remember the first thing I said to this guy, because it was our friend Navarro. He was like, "Hey, I want you to be my friend Manny. You've been friends with Navarro since you were kids."
Oh yeah, Navarro. I used to know since friggin' like preschool. That's how long he was. Like one of the kids and he literally used to live down the street from me.
Yeah, and then Navarro, he was in my class, right? So I became friends with him really fast, and then he introduced me. I remember one of the first things I said to you, because you were that tall back then.
Yeah, I was pretty tall then.
Yeah, so the first thing I said to you, I'm like, "Yo, my man, how many times did you get left back?" Like the first thing I said to you.
I told him once.
Yeah, and I was like, "Hey, it's cool. I got left back once too."
We were actually both older than what we. It's funny because me, you, and Navarro were actually older than what we were supposed to be in our grades.
Yeah.
For Navarro, Navarro was never left back. He was just because when he came to New York, they just put him in a lower class.
Yeah.
For me, I got left back, and then you got left back. So we were all older than we were supposed to be for the grade that we were in.
Yeah, because all the kids in my class were 12 or like 11 or 12, and I was like 13,
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to be 14 the year right after that. So yeah, I was older. You were older, so that's how we met. And then we've obviously been hanging out ever since.
Yeah, man.
And let's see, yeah. And as far as Chris goes, how did you meet Chris? You met
Chris. Chris is an interesting story. We used to go to SVA, and that's how I met him.
Yeah, School of Visual Arts.
Yeah, I used to go to the night classes, and he was going at the same time, and that's how we kind of met. So yeah.
Nice. And then I met Chris, through you, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
And then let's see, Brett, I met him, through Rachel and stuff. I met her on Twitter after she pissed off Adam Sessler, after she called him out on the whole bros versus hoes trophy shit. She didn't like that. So I met him through her because she was like, "Hey, my husband, he's as much of a gamer as you guys. You should have him on the show." Brett actually made his debut on the Throwdown where we were at E3. You and I were not on that episode. we were flying back. So Brett, that's where he made his debut and stuff. And I'm listening to the show. Some of the stuff was pissing me off. Man, you remember the plane ride back?
Oh, like, yeah, you were like, what the fuck?
You know, but Brett knew his shit, and then we had him on a follow-up episode. I'm like, yo, this dude knows his stuff, man. You're on the roster now, you know? He knew his shit, so that's how we met Brett. Brian, I met him because of STFU and Play, you know? I was writing, you know, I was on that site with Torrance and stuff. The same way I met Riku and stuff. And, I mean, because of STFU and Play, I kind of met a lot of the people I know now, but yeah, that's how I met Brian. That's how we all met him. Carlos, I met you through the Bit Bag, I believe, even before the STF Play.
Yeah.
You know, and same thing with Mike. Like, you know, like it's funny. Like you and I are like friends now, but I knew about you years ago, like when you were on doing stuff on the Bit Bag as well.
Wait, who, me?
Yeah, you. Like I used to listen to your show, the Minority Show, which I loved. You know.
Oh, when I was back there. Okay.
Yeah, like what the fuck are you talking about?
Like, back in the who?
No, it just makes me realize how old I am. I'm like, yeah, 30 years old.
But even before that, it was on. I heard you on the Warzone and stuff. You used to troll Torrents and shit.
Yeah. Actually, I was just on the Warzone last week. Actually, me and Riku went on there. He just told me to go on, and it turned into me, Riku, and Ice just trolling Torrents. It was pretty fun, actually.
Yeah, and then, you know, when I got on the Coalition, that's when, you know, you've been on the Coalition for a while, you know, before that. So that's, you know, we started talking and stuff. Noticed we had a lot of interest in shit. We also noticed that we don't tolerate bullshit from other people. So
not at all. Yeah. He's basically a Hispanic version of me. So. Yeah. Or maybe I'm the African version of him. I don't really know.
Who knows? Yeah, it gets blurry. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much how we all met and stuff. You know, through all these sites. Pretty interesting shit. All right, next question.
It's a long journey.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Fun journey though. Right,
sometimes I think of like, you know, like I actually think about how long I've known Tony. I'm like, damn, that was a pretty long time ago.
Dude, you've known me most of your life. Think
pretty
about
much.
That. Not half, not a quarter, most of it.
Yep.
It's insane, man. All right, next question. Are you disappointed when you buy a game and the graphics are not as good as they were when it was first revealed?
Are we talking about a certain game called, I don't know, Watch Dogs?
Or a game that divides, maybe? Mike, get in here, man. What do you say about all this?
Me personally, no. But that's just because when I you know me, like unless it's a game that's a franchise that I absolutely love, I don't really go into hype for most games. So like I'm with that small camp of people that when I played Watch Dogs, I wasn't really disappointed because I didn't expect much from Watch Dogs. Because when they showed the trailer, I'm like, oh, okay, that's a movie. That's not gameplay. So I didn't expect that to be gameplay. Same thing with The Division. Like I've heard people saying it doesn't look anything like the very first trailer they showed. I'm like, of course, because that was basically a fucking live action movie. So it's not gonna look like that. But for me personally, it doesn't really impact me unless I go on expecting like a current gen experience, and then graphically it looks like I'm playing a PS1 game. That might be a little jarring, but for the most part, not really.
All right, Carlos, what do you say, man?
Yeah, definitely. I agree with Manny with Watch Dogs. When I first saw that trailer, I was blown away. I think most of us were blown away, and I bought the PC version. I remember I had a Jagon actually bought that game for me.
Oh god!
Oh god, the graphics, and it turns out the graphics were not as good, and it definitely, I mean, it didn't help that the game was not good either. But yeah, that's the one that stands out for me.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't really like say that. Like Watch Dogs was a disappointment, but not in like the usual way. Like I was kind of like, oh fuck, this game doesn't look as cool as it was. But my disappointment more stemmed from the fact that it was just a generic like open world game. There was nothing really to make it like stand out. You know, it's just very generic and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I can't really say that I've had an experience like that. Where it's like, damn, this thing looks stupid. You know, like not really. Like I kind of know these games are like fabricated, you know, graphics wise, like when they first presented to you. So I'm not holding out too much hope to begin with. Like even when I played The Division last year at E3, I was just like, oh shit, they kind of knocked this back. But since I wasn't really caring too much about the game, it didn't really upset me or anything. You know, I kind of expect it now. It's like what they show you when they first reveal it isn't going to be what you're going to get when you actually get the game. You know, so it's kind of par for the course.
And you can expect that from Ubisoft from now
Yeah,
on.
exactly. Manny.
Yeah. I mean, partly you kind of have to know that usually when they show you those tech demos or things like that, that's usually under the best conditions. The original Watch Dogs, trailer was done under the situation where not all of the environments were all fully created. It was only really running with a limited version of AI and all that stuff, just enough to kind of make the trailer and stuff look pretty. Once the final game comes in and you have all this other stuff running in the background, obviously the graphics are going to take a little bit of a hit.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Remember Metal Gear Solid 4, man, when they first revealed that game didn't look like that when you actually got it.
No, Metal Gear Solid 4, like that first tech demo trailer, which was running like at 60 frames a second and all that stuff, it didn't really look like that at all. They were saying that they were rendering all the stupid hairs on Snake's mustache. That's because all it needs to run is all that engine was really needed to run was just that cinematic, and all the things that you see in that specific environment. It doesn't need doesn't need to worry about anything else that's going on in the underside of it. I mean,
You guys
granted,
remember? Yeah. Go ahead.
there's also Killzone.
I was just about to say that.
Killzone.
Remember Killzone? Killzone 2?
I think a lot of nowadays a lot of the companies are really wary about trying to offer something relatively close to what they've shown. Not like but the Killzone thing was like, oh yeah, the totals, it's running real time. Yeah, it might have been running real time, but all it is just running a cinematic, nothing else.
Yeah, running a cinematic in real time,
Yeah, it's running. It's running like I remember there was a while ago. Sony released. You remember there was these two trailers for Killzone, right? And there were these they used the game's graphics and they showed you all these weird zooming things. Like it was like a zoom from a bullet into this guy's chest and then through the guy's chest. And
I remember that.
That they actually offered that thing. You can watch that thing in real time, and you can actually run it with your thing and pause it and move it, and it's amazing. But the thing is that it's all a bunch of trickery because it's all it's meant to do is run this cinematic, no AI, none of that stuff. So all of it can be, you use to make the graphics look really, really good.
Yeah, basically,
it's essentially not real time.
Yeah, it's not real time at all.
Well, no, I mean it is real time. It's being shown on the screen in real time. The only thing is that you can't really control it, and
Right.
it's in a contrived situation. It's essentially you're in a the outsides are not all the things aren't rendered. It's just because you're not going in those locations. So of course, obviously, you can have nice, really high resolution textures and models.
Yeah, basically. All right.
So, but I mean, it's never. I've never been disappointed because I usually kind of go into those sorts of situations saying, "All right, these things are just kind of a test bed to show you what they're going to go for, and it'll look close to it, but maybe not exactly like it."
Yeah. All right. Last question for Final Stage Boss. As far as shooters go, do you prefer first person or third person?
First person easy.
Really? Why is that?
It's just more realistic to me in terms of the perspective you get. Like, it's easier for me to put myself into the character playing a first-person shooter. I can't do that with a third-person shooter because you have a perspective of the environment that you're in that always forces you. It's jarring to me. It puts me in a position where I have a fourth wall perspective. Like, I'm watching the events unfold versus I'm seeing it because I'm in it. Also, I just feel like in terms of the examples of first-person shooters I can think of versus third-person, the skill bar is higher in first-person shooters. They expect you to do more because I guess they understand you can see everything. So the aiming is just a lot more precise versus a game like Uncharted or Gears or whatnot, even the Division that I've been playing the beta for or whatnot. Like, these aren't bad games. They're fun shooters, but like they don't have the same depth in terms of the actual combat.
I want to ask you about, have you played Star Wars Battlefront?
Yes, and I don't like that game.
Okay, yeah, because that has both. So I wanted to see if the aiming is affected in that game in first person.
Though I will say it's not the perspective that causes me to not like Star Wars Battlefront. It's just the game itself. But I mean, like I play, like I'm a big fan of Battlefield, which is what that's based on. And I mean, for the most part, Battlefield is exclusively first person. Sometimes when you get in the vehicle, you can kind of swap, but it's usually first person. So, and I love Battlefield. So, yeah.
All right. As far as me, actually, the opposite answer. This one is funny because you said we were the same dude. No, not here. I like third person because first person has always been disorienting me. I can never tell where anyone's shooting me from. You know, like if I have the guy there, I could tell. Oh shit! If he reacts like, oh shit, they're shooting me from over there. Let me turn around and shoot him. And it always seems like it's easier to aim when I have a character here and then like somebody there. It's like, okay, I could triangulate the position of where I need to shoot and stuff. In first person, I know they're kind of there in your face, but sometimes it's just a little harder to tell for me. And again, I just like seeing my character on screen instead of like, okay, you're a floating gun. It's like, that's kind of weird. Like, show me on screen. I want to see my character, and that goes for pretty much any game. I've never been a fan of the first person perspective. It always seems kind of cheap to me, unless they actually put the character in there. Like if I look down, I see my feet and my arms. That I like that. I think Thief did that, but most games you're just a floating gun, and I'm not. Yeah,
Halo does that too, actually.
Oh, good. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, there's a couple that do it. But yeah, I hate that too. When you look down and you see nothing, it's like, am I just a floating gun?
Yeah, or even worse, if you go over water, it's like, where's my reflection? What's going on here?
Where is my footprint? Like, why is there nothing? I'm just floating over water. Am I Jesus?
Yeah, or even worse, you do see your footprints. It's like, but what's causing that to happen? There's no foot there, So it's always been weird to me. So yeah, third person for sure. Carlos.
Yeah, I would have to agree with Mike. First person, to me, it's more of the immersive factor. I always feel like I'm more immersed in the game when I'm playing, and in particular, the first-person games to come out to me were better than the third person back in the day. Certainly, the third-person genre has stepped up with like Last of Us and Uncharted and stuff, but I feel, for example, the Bethesda games, when I'm playing the Bethesda games, you get the option to decide whether to play the first person or third person. And even though the third person aspect is not as well tuned and defined on the Bethesda game as the first person, I always decide to do the first person. That's just the way that I prefer. And with VR in the future, I would obviously prefer first person over third person.
Yeah, that's a good
point.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. Manny.
I would say third person, but in general, I don't like shooting games. I like more action-oriented games where you don't have to totally depend on shooting everybody. But yeah, I agree with Tony on the fact that I kind of I dig seeing my characters. I find the same sort of situations. It feels like I'm just not getting enough view, even with the sides of the screen in the way. I mean, yeah. I would think the VR situation would be a lot better, where essentially where you move your head, you look around and you're immersed in the environment. I can see a first-person perspective working better for me, something like that, rather than on a normal screen.
All right. Let's come with Gary's questions. I'm looking at him now. So Gary Swavey asked him a question, very interesting question. So he goes, it's the annual The Coalition Party, and all these questions are based around that scenario. So the first question is, everyone is taking advantage of the open bar. Tony and Gary are drinking Dominican rum. Richard is drinking bottled water. Richard does not drink alcohol, people, just so you know. After sipping some red wine, Jake James Lugo challenges Chris Seeley to a match on Super Smash Brothers because he believes nobody at the Coalition can match his epic magnitude. Who would win and why? Let
me do my impression. So Chris, I think you can beat me now. I'm gonna kick your ass. I'm gonna show you how a master plays Super Smash Brothers.
Manny, please say, because I'm the epic one.
Because I'm the epic one.
Oh God, I didn't see that coming. Oh my Lord.
Chris isn't here tonight, so we can't answer. I'm gonna answer though. I'm pretty sure Jake James is gonna whip the shit out. Chris doesn't care about Smash Brothers like that,
Yeah, he wouldn't. He would. Chris might be able to win a couple of things because Smash Brothers the rules never really change. You kind of pick the character you're good with and just I don't know.
I will answer this for Chris. Chris would beat him in, as he would say, a real fighting game.
Like Street Fighter.
Yes, an actual fighting game, not just whatever the hell Smash Brothers is. So he would probably say, "How about we play a real game instead?" That's what.
Yeah,
That's
he'll be
what
like,
Chris would say.
so Smash Brothers is pretty cool, but maybe we should play a real fighting game.
Yeah, how about we play a real fighting game? Yeah, Chris doesn't have a distinctive voice like Jake James though. Oh man! All right. Again, we can't really answer for Chris. He's not here. All right. Next question. At the same party, Corey, Dylan, and Damien get into a heated argument. Emilio tells them to calm down so he can sketch in peace and tells them to settle their differences in a video game. Damien refuses to play on a PS4 and Corey refuses to play on an Xbox One. The Wii U is already occupied. Which platform or should they settle the differences on, and which game?
Also, let me add, I probably would not be drawing during a party.
Yeah.
Let's just go with that one.
Oh, Mike, there's some echo on your end, bro.
Oh, my fault. Sorry.
All right, Manny, say that again.
I said I probably wouldn't be drawing during a party.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not a super drinker, but if there's an open bar, I'll take a couple of those things. I'll get me some cider. I'm good.
Yes.
And didn't Damien have a PS4?
He did, but he sold it.
Mm.
I say split the difference, and we'll play something that they're probably both not really familiar with. We pull out the old Nintendo, just go. The old Nintendo Entertainment System, right there.
I like that answer, actually. I was going to suggest they both just get in a ring and physically fight each other.
Yes, I was going to say that too. I say make them compete on a system that they should both have. Make them compete in real life. So,
yeah, exactly. Just
better
have
grab
them
it
duke it out.
Have them duke it out in the real life simulation.
Yeah. With VR headsets on. What do you guys say? Carlos.
I don't know. I would say look for I don't know. Is there even a game that's cross-platform that you can play on PS4 and Xbox One?
I was going to say let them pick their controller of choice, right?
Right.
Pop in a game, but don't tell them they're playing on PC.
Oof.
But here's the question: which game? Which game do they settle the differences in?
It's got to be a game that they've both played on both consoles.
Yeah, exactly. But again, my answer is the same. I want them to physically fight each other. But let's try to answer that one. Like, which game do we pick for these guys? Because I don't think either of them like fighting games.
Yeah, fighting game is.
Actually, that's a good question. It'd have to be a multi-platform game that they.
It has to be a multi-platform game, exactly.
Do they maybe Call of Duty? That's a pretty general, right? General fare right there, right?
I guess.
That's what I was thinking, actually.
Yeah, you know what? Let's go with that. Call of Duty.
Call of Duty on a PC with a PlayStation controller and a Xbox controller.
Yeah, just
which by the way, the PlayStation one has to go through a lot more trouble to work on a PC.
Because it's not a Microsoft controller.
No, it's because
the Xbox is better.
It has. I think it has to do with a couple of different things. I think it might have to do with Sony maybe releasing drivers. Who knows? You gotta take the long way. But it's funny. Steam actually works with the PlayStation controller.
Interesting.
But some games don't work with it.
All right, so yeah, there you go. And the last question: Other Zinc crashes the party. Is he more likely to start bombarding us with reasons that Microsoft are the almighty, or is he more likely to apologize for his actions and admit that he has purchased a PS4? Depending on the answer, explain what your reaction would be.
To be honest, I don't think he would confront anybody. I think he'd just be talking like everybody else, like, hey, let's play some games, let's do some this.
Oh, really?
That stuff in real life.
You think so you're suggesting that he doesn't act like that in real life?
I do. I think that totally.
I have to agree with him. I have to hope that he doesn't act like that in real life.
Yeah,
like,
you have to hope.
He can't be a functional adult like that. That's just not possible.
Wouldn't you think that he'll just go straight to Tony and ask him, "Hey man, could you unban me?" And then just go on a huge spiel about why he deserves to be there.
Nah, yeah, he's gonna come in. Where is Tony Polanco? Where is this man? Why isn't he answering about the order?
I think my general consensus is most people don't act like the idiots that they act like on the internet. I always say that the internet is like a direct line into somebody's brain. All the different things that you think and hope, all of that shit goes bleeding onto the internet without any filter. Most of the time, you won't say the things that you say on the internet to people that you actually know or people in the street.
That is true. Except for me, I'm exactly the same, but that's because I'm lazy. So
Well,
exactly
I'm the same too. I mean, the thing is, I'm not number one. I'm not gonna go out and curse somebody out. The thing is, I don't do anything on the internet that I don't normally do in real life.
Yeah. Remember, I told you this, man. I found it very odd that when we went to that first E3, the one thing people kept telling me is like, "Hey, you act the same in real life as you do online," and I'm like, "Why would I act any different? Do you know how much effort that takes to be a different person?"
I got that too when I met people at E3, like the first 2-3 times. I was like, "Did you guys think that I was like a persona or something? This is me. I don't understand."
But I think the thing is that you're both very obvious personalities. In other words, it's hard to like a lot of people kind of keep half the side down. It's like the things that they want to say to people, they're not going to actually say to them. But all of in the internet world, they're a totally different person. They're witty and all that stuff. But in real life, they might be a little bit meek and not say all the different things that they're exactly thinking.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's shit Mike and I can't say online, but that doesn't mean we're fake. It's just we're not going to say certain things, because But yeah, for the most part, I'm the same guy. But the thing is, I've heard some shit about Others Inc. From what people close to them have told me. Apparently, he kind of is like that, and I've known some people like that. They're just assholes and stuff. So I fully expect him to maybe not bring it as heavy, but I think he'll still talk a lot of bullshit, especially if you get him drunk.
I think if you got him drunk, then it'll come out more.
Yeah. So what would my reaction be? Throw him into the pit with Corey and Damien. That's what I say.
Wouldn't that be like a kind of a uneven fight though? You have to throw another crazy PlayStation guy in there to kind of even shit out.
Yeah. Oh, it's not like you're not gonna struggle to find one of those in the comment section. Just take a pic. So.
Oh man. All right. What do you guys say about this? What do you expect Others Inc. to do?
So, okay, being that we've given the evidence that you've just given us, that he is essentially as much of an Xbox maniac as he is on the internet as he is in real life. What were the two options again?
Yeah, basically he comes in spouting Microsoft is the best, or he admits he fucked up and he's sorry. He ain't apologizing.
He will not. Shit. He would not apologize.
No fucking way.
I don't think so either. I think he's just gonna come in and just stay the course, essentially. Yeah. Xbox is winning 2016 holiday season. Like, okay, Tony. Or okay,
sure.
Yeah, sure.
Sure, buddy. If you keep saying that, how much did Halo sell again? Did you predicted 7 million by the end of the year? Did it get close to that? No.
I literally half that, so I don't know what he's talking about. I had said. Can I just say that? I'm just going to go ahead and say, that was stupid.
Keep it real.
I'm really upset that people entertain that. 7 million in 2 months. No. There weren't even enough consoles at the time for that. People, I feel like they kind of bullied him accepting that bet. Because you knew that, everyone with the brain knew that was dumb. Right? We all knew that, that's not going to happen. We should have, he needs an intervention.
That's what he needs. It's like, dude, okay, and by the way, to be fair, 7 million in 3 months. This is how he broke it down. 3 million the first month, 2 million the next month, and 2 million the following month. All in America, by the way.
All in America. Just America.
Yeah, just America. Exactly. Physical, no digital. This guy's fucking nuts. Dude, at least say worldwide, including digital. No. NPDs. So yeah, a guy like that, no fucking way he's gonna come in and apologize.
He needs an intervention. He needs somebody to show up at his house with PS4 and tie him to a chair and just make him play it.
He needs shock therapy. That's what he needs, man. Shit.
Well, to be honest, if he starts playing the PS4, it's pretty much like playing an Xbox One.
No.
I mean, yeah, I could see that. Honestly, the systems are basically identical though.
Mm-hmm.
I have both, and I'm I kind of sit there and staring at myself why did I do this? Exclusives don't really matter this gen, so I really should have just got a PC. Why didn't I just get a damn PC?
I mean, when we live in a world where Metal Gear comes out for all platforms, you're like, man.
Yeah.
What is there left to do?
What's the purpose? I don't understand.
Basically, Carlos, what do you say, man?
Yeah, I agree with Manny. I just think he's just gonna be like not relaxed, but maybe just not act the same way he does online. People tend to act that way online when they have the liberty to not get fucked up when they talk shit. So I don't know. He'll still be the same fanboy, but he just won't be as persistent and as annoying as he is on the internet.
Yeah, you might be right about that. Like he'll still be the same. It's just like lower the volume a little bit. If he's at 10, this dude's gonna come in at 5 or 6.
Right. Because if you think about it, it's way easier to just type in like a whole diatribe in the comment section than it is to just actually speak it.
Exactly, and actually think about what the fuck you're saying.
Yeah, and you have to have someone paying attention to you in order for you to do that. So either you're gonna get freaking punched, or someone's just gonna leave.
Yeah,
you're not gonna be talking to yourself.
All right, let's move on here. And Gary says, "P.S. Sorry for the randomness. I'm bored at work. You got to admit these would be hilarious to answer. They were hilarious to answer.
Yes,
thank you.
Thank you.
Gary's a troll. Gary's a troll. Just like a really, really quiet subliminal troll, like the worst type. So yeah, I see what you tried to do there, Gary. Me and you will have words. So.
Oh man! All right, he's calling you out. All right. Him Deal asks us some questions here. Are there any games in recent memory that you've played? Mike, echo. All right. Are there any games in recent memory that you played and initially hated but came back to and thoroughly enjoyed? Great question. Okay, here's the thing. I can't say I played a game that I hated and came back. The only one I was just kind of like, what is this? And then I played later. I'm like, wow, this is good. Journey. When Journey first came out, it first came out when Mass Effect 3 was out. I'm shooting aliens or fucking aliens mode, So I got this little game. I'm wandering the desert and stuff. I'm like, okay, this is neat. It looks nice, but I want to go back to killing shit in fucking Mass Effect. I didn't get it. Then I played it during the summer, and I'm like, holy shit, this is amazing. This is great. So I had that little moment of clarity. And then another one, again, not hated, I just didn't see it. Deus Ex, when I first played it, I'm like, I don't know about this game, man. Like, I felt the controls were kind of clunky and stuff. I wasn't really feeling it, but I got to a point near the end of the first chapter where I'm like, oh, shit, this is Metal Gear. Like, this is like a Western version of Metal Gear. This game is the shit. That's when it hit me. But, there's not many games like that. Like, if I don't like it, I just don't like it, period. There's very few games where I have a complete turnaround on.
The one thing I noticed with you, Tony, is that certain games you can't mix and match. Journey didn't get a fair run with you at the first time because you were like playing this crazy Mass Effect game. Which, it's funny, at the same time I was playing Mass Effect, but I played Journey just like as a cleanser because I needed a little bit of a break between all the sci-fi and explosions and shooting.
Yeah.
So I quite enjoyed it. I beat it in like a night, which is great.
Yeah, so since you're talking, any games that you played that disappointed you and then you're like, oh wow, this is good?
No, I usually if a game disappoints me, I stay disappointed. I mean, I gave Lords of Shadow a fair shake, and it was not a good shake because
that game was just bad, dude.
In fact, that game got
worse.
The beginning was okay, and then it just got steadily worse. I can't say that I've come back to something. I can't say that I've come back to something and really thought it was a little bit better the second time around. Usually, I'm pretty. First impressions usually are really good with these things. Like, you mentioned Deus Ex. I played that. I was like, this is cool. I like this. This is Metal Gear-esque.
Yeah. Actually, there's another one too for me. Just need to throw it in there. The latest Need for Speed, right? When I played it, and I told Mayas, I kind of wish I could go back to do the review because when I first played, I'm like, man, I don't know about this game. Like, it's okay, but it's missing shit. Then the more I play, I'm like, oh, this is good. And then eventually went to get the fucking platinum for it. I was like, okay, this is a really good game, So I had to turn around that, but I didn't hate it either. I guess I never really had that where it's like, I hate this game. Oh my god, I love it. You know,
It just took a while to appreciate it.
yeah, exactly. I'm like, okay, I see what this game's doing. This is cool. And then, of course, they patched it so the rubber banding wasn't that bad. That made a world of difference, you know? That's a different subject for another day where a game could be totally different later just because of a patch, you know? What about you, Carlos? Any games that you, like, hated and then you eventually loved?
Well, not really hated. I disliked the MOBA genre. I I I would talk shit about Dota 2 and League of Legends, and I got the freaking Heroes of the Storm bug, and that's the game that I played the most in 2015. So I'm kind of like a hypocrite on that. So that's kind of the closest it comes to
Yeah,
it.
you're a convert.
I'm a convert. So I didn't believe in that, but then it kind of turned me around. Another one is I didn't really, so hate is a strong word. So
Yeah.
when I was a little kid, I remember I used to receive the Underground disc for PlayStation, so for my
Yeah.
PS1, and they had all the demos. And I remember one of the demos I played that I didn't hate, but I kind of didn't get the point, was Metal Gear and Metal Gear Solid. And when I played the actual game, I was like amazed. So you could say that, but that was more of a demo. It wasn't really
Yeah,
a first
exactly.
playthrough.
Tony, wasn't there a game that you played the demo of, and that you were like, this this game is shit, but then you actually played the real game? And
Oh, yeah,
it
if we're
was,
talking about demos, different story. Dead Space. I played the demo for the first Dead Space. I'm like, this is
Ooh.
fucking, it's horrible. This is shit. Like, this game is going to be terrible. And then I eventually ended up getting the game somehow, and I played. I'm like, holy shit, this game is fucking amazing. That demo didn't do this thing justice at all. And Dead Space is one of my favorite games of all time now, but that demo was harsh. And I'm like, terrible, terrible fucking demo, you know?
Yeah, and if you guys played the Metal Gear game, the Metal Gear demo, it was pretty much what the game was supposed to be. It wasn't like it was a bad demo or anything.
Yeah.
I just didn't really get it. So that's
I think the biggest one with that one is that demo is as I remember it's super close to the game, to what you get in the actual final game.
yeah.
I think the other thing is that it's like, usually when you think of demos, they're kind of fast paced. And Metal Gear, the original Metal Gear, starts off very slow. Like, you really don't get into, you know, you get a little bit of taste in the beginning, and you get in the elevator. It's kind of, it's not like, you know, it's not
Right.
all that. You know?
Oh, man. All right, Mike, what about you, man?
For me, I was gonna say I don't have any extreme examples that I can really think of. The closest I would think would be Max Curse of Brotherhood. Like, I played the game originally, I was like, man, that's all right. Then I was bored. I had like nothing to play, so I went back and played it, and I got hooked to the point where I beat the entire game. Like, it's like one of my favorite like kind of indie / puzzle games that I've ever played. Like, it's really, really, really well done, and I hope there's a sequel or something because I'm a big fan of that. I'm trying to think of another like a bigger example, but I can't really think of any because I guess I'm kind of like I don't know. I guess I kind of share that MOBA thing because I don't genuinely like most MOBAs, and I respect Dota, but I never want to play it. I don't like League of Legends. Like, even now I don't like League. So I thought maybe I just wouldn't like a MOBA, and then I played Smite, and I was like, okay, this looks really cool. Like, I like the perspective of combat. I love the lore and the concept of using gods from different pantheons and religions. And I got hooked. Like, Smite, for me, was my most played game last year, like, by far. Even now, I still regularly play it all the time. So, yeah, I guess that would be it for me.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's something I'm forgetting.
Yeah,
Oh,
go ahead.
Tekken. I used
Tekken?
I used to hate Tekken. I'm a Virtua Fighter fan. I still am. So
Yes,
because of
my
that,
man.
back in the day, you know, Virtua Fighter is like, if you liked Virtua Fighter, you didn't like Tekken. and vice versa.
Yep, that was me, man. As a matter of fact, and I said this publicly, I still have that hate for Tekken, even though I shouldn't. There's no reason for it, you know. But it's still like this. Like, Virtua Fighter, if you like Virtua Fighter, you hate Tekken. That's the way it has to be, you know. But you're right about that. Old school, man. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, and that's exactly how it was for me. So I was like, I didn't really give it a try. I played a couple games. Like, I played Tekken 2 and 3. I was like, man, I don't like this. And then I played Tekken 4, and I hated it. So I remember I was bored, and I was in an arcade. My friend was like, just play Tekken with me. Play Tekken 5. And he showed me King, because he knows I like grappling characters. I was like, okay, this dude's moveset is awesome. And then, like, he showed me all the characters, and I started seeing the nuance and, like, the beauty of the animations that are in Tekken. I was like, okay, this is a really beautiful game, but does it have the depth of play that a Virtua Fighter does? So he sat there and taught me Tekken 5, and I came to realize that even though I still argue that Virtua Fighter is still deeper overall, Tekken is different enough that you can like both. So I went from being like an avid Tekken hater to Tekken being one of my favorite fighting games, period. Like, it's up there. It's not Virtua Fighter, but it's in the discussion. So I'd put Tekken over Street Fighter, actually. So
Interesting.
For me, you know, we're talking about Tekken. I've always liked both Virtua Fighter and Tekken for exactly the same reasons. It's like they were kind of like, you know, granted, yes, they're 3D fighters, but they were still such different animals compared to each other.
Cool. As far as MOBAs go, I got to give another shot because I was talking to Carlos about this actually. The first MOBA I played was Awesome Knots, right? I go in expecting a 2D side-scrolling game like Mega Man, right? Mm-hmm. And then it's like defend your base. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Can I just go through the level and kill bosses? Like, no, you gotta team up and like defend your shell. I'm like, I don't want to do that. That's dumb. And then I looked it up like MOBA. I'm like, okay, I don't think I like this genre. But I guess I'll give Smite another try. Even though I tried downloading Smite, then the Xbox had some bullshit where I couldn't download it, and I'm like, fuck you, just get rid of it. You know. But I'll give it another shot. But I don't. Then again, it's think about the name. What is it? A multiplayer online, right there. That already lets you know that I'm probably not gonna like it very much, you know, because I'm not really into online games like that. But I'll give it another shot, you know. I think correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't fucking not Legacy of Kain? What's the name? What's that bullshit game that came out? Nosgoth. Isn't that a MOBA too? I hated that shit too. Terrible. And I think that is a MOBA. You know?
That when I heard about that, when you and Chris came back from that thing, I was so disappointed because, you know, Legacy of Kain, good stuff there.
I've been wanting Legacy of Kain back for years, and I played. I'm gonna tell you guys something real. I had an appointment to go play the game. I played it. I didn't even write about it. I'm like, this is trash. I'm not writing about this.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck this shit, man. It's horrible. Oh man. All right. Next question from Himdale. Can we expect any other members of Throwdown to stream console gameplay this year? I really enjoy Tony's streams of Metal Gear Solid 5 S ranks. Manny?
Well, I mean, I have some recordings of my S ranks, but I don't I don't have the time to kind of devote to kind of putting videos together like that. I'm super sorry about that, but yeah.
Well, you're not really a streaming kind of guy anyway.
No, I'm not a really streaming kind of guy, and most of the time I don't. You know, like Tony. You know, when you hear him say "oh shit" and all that other shit, he does that in real life. He's not doing that for the fucking video. Like if you ever sat in a room with Tony, you'll hear him go "fuck," "oh shit," you know, all that stuff.
Yeah, Gary's a big fan of my videos. So he's like, you know, and I'm like, why are you because he finds it hilarious. I'm like, but I'm just playing a game. He's like, oh, I know it's funny, man.
Like, I think it's just like you're not. There's nothing fake about it. Like, you know, some of those guys out there, they'll put on like, oh, you know, they get all dumb when
what the fuck was that face he just made?
Yeah, I don't know.
They get all pretty pie.
They'll do all that sort of stuff just for the camera because it's on them. So, I you know, for Tony though, it's not that. It's just his natural reactions like, oh fuck, you know. Like I've talked to him while he's, you know, on the phone while he's playing a game, and it's the same shit. It's like fuck shit. I
got a little story for you guys. I was on PSN the other day where I was playing Need for Speed, and my man Andrew Alliance, you know, he hits me up and stuff. Uriah, I think how he says his internet name, but Andrew Alliance. So he gets me into a room, right? And my man Carl's there. Manny, you know Carl, right? Hip Hop Gamer's friend.
Yeah.
So we get in a room. First thing he says to me, Tony, keep it PG, please. Keep it G-rated. And I'm like, okay, because he was doing a stream, and Andrew, he keeps his shit clean. You know, when I was on his podcast, yes, he edited my fucking curses out. You know, so I'm like, so I'm there playing Need for Speed, this really hard race, and it was the hardest thing not to curse, man. You know, and then I found out this is funny too. The reason he wanted me to keep it G, not only because of the broadcast, but because Paris Lilly, the co-host of Gamer Tag Radio, his kid was in there. So I couldn't curse, you know. But there would be times where I'm like, man, this is some BS. You know, I had to do that. What the heck is going on? Oh, man, that was a tough race, too, man. That was some bullshit, too.
Was that one that you've been hacking out for like weeks?
Yeah, man. And then here's the funny thing, I have this ability, and I wish I could turn this shit on. When I'm not paying attention in a game, I beat it like nothing. We used to have our friend Chris, not Chris here, Evil Chris. That's what we used to call him. He would hate it when we would be playing Street Fighter, and I get a phone call. He'd be like, "Oh fuck," because what would happen is I'm playing, I'm talking on the phone. I'm not concentrating on what I'm doing. And I beat the shit out of him like nothing.
Because you focus all your chakra on your hands, man.
I guess. And then you guys remember yeah, what happened, Mike?
I heard that. Jesus Christ, fucking dorks.
And then you guys remember Sergio, right? Egress. So I was playing Destiny with him one time, right? And I was telling him a story, and I got really invested in the story. He's like, "Yo, Tony, you just beat the shit out of everyone in Destiny." I'm like, "I did," and then the leaderboards came out. I was like in the top. I'm like, "Okay, that's odd." So that's what happened with this race. I'm telling Andrew this story, and I beat that race like fucking nothing. And I was like, "Oh, I won the race. Cool." Like overthinking fucks you up. So yeah. As far as the other guys, I can't answer for them. Chris isn't here. Brett's not here. Brian. So I'll ask him if they're going to stream anything. But again, Brett is not a real streaming type of guy either.
I would say out of all of them would be
Chris
probably be Chris.
Yeah, Chris is probably the only one. Brian, he's not a streaming guy either.
Chris already, Chris has the Elgato and all that stuff, so I can definitely see him doing something like that.
Yeah, but Brett definitely not. He doesn't even go on Twitter.
No, he doesn't go on Twitter.
He's worse than you, Manny, in that respect. It took me, because like it took me a while to push you to get you on Twitter.
I think a lot of people pushed me to get out of Twitter.
Yeah, I was the same way. I don't feel bad.
Yeah, so yeah, Brett is like, nope, fuck that. I'm not doing that shit.
Actually, Brian comes to my stream a lot too whenever I stream Warframe because he's a Warframe guy.
Yeah, so, Brian's a big Warframe guy. Yeah, for sure.
For Brian, I don't know if he would want to stream. He might, but I don't know. I mean, he for a while on STFU and Play, he used to do those reviews where it was like a first play or first run. Well, I can't remember what he called it.
Yeah, he used to do that stuff. Yeah, the first 40 minutes.
First 40 minutes.
40 minutes of gameplay. That's what it was. 40 minutes. 40 minutes of game. Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. Maybe we could, force Brian to do it again. Yeah. All right. Last question here. Are there any Netflix originals you're looking forward to this year besides Daredevil? It was just announced November 4th. Luke Cage, man.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Give me that shit. Fucking Luke Cage, man.
That means you have to watch Jessica Jones.
I will watch it eventually.
Oh my God! Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. In fact, that's what I was gonna say. Honestly, if they do Luke Cage how they did Jessica Jones, I'm not watching it.
Oh shit!
I'm not watching it, and it's unfortunate because I'm kind of hyped for it, but I'm hyped for Daredevil. So
to be honest, I feel like the points when Cage got involved, the show got a little more interesting.
Well, he was the only one that really seemed like a superhero type for me, compared to Jessica Jones at least.
Yeah.
Did you watch it?
Not yet.
He didn't see it.
I'll get around to it.
I kind of scared him a little. I kind of scared him away from it a little bit.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a show I'll like. Like if it's shoving all that shit down your throat, I'm probably not gonna like it very much.
Yeah, it starts in its mood where it's just like really sad and depressed mood, and it kind of carries on and meanders throughout the whole series. So I guess that's, if you don't like that, then you're not gonna like the show. I guess my main criticism of Jessica Jones is Jessica Jones as a as a superhero, as her having powers. She doesn't really. I mean, she gets fucked up by like random guys.
Yeah.
She gets the hell beat out of her by these dumbasses with batons. With stun batons. Seriously?
Yeah, Mike, go off, man, please.
No, I'm not going to. I'm not going, because I've had the discussion with Charles and stuff like that. This isn't a show. It's like you had an opportunity, you had a platform to take Jessica Jones, a female superhero, and make her badass. Just being Jessica Jones, she could. I understand you would try to do the whole. She's not a newly found superhero anymore. She's already been there, done that. But still, like, she should have been wiser from her years as a superhero. She should still be powerful enough to beat up a bunch of random jabronis with freaking stun batons. Like, that shouldn't happen. And like, they don't focus enough on the fact that this is a woman with powers. This is a woman that's experienced, that's intelligent. They don't focus on that. They focus on her human flaws the entire show. Like, I understand you want to show her as being humane, but that shouldn't be the whole show. That's not entertaining to me.
I feel like also the issue with Jessica Jones is okay, obviously we're trying to have an empowered woman, but they never at any point let her be empowered at all.
Exactly.
For as strong as she is, she's constantly the victim. And to be honest, we're always everybody's always talking about empowered women and why aren't they? The thing is that this is a perfect example. It's like she's this supposedly this powerful female protagonist, but she's not allowed to be powerful at all. And I feel it's a big failure. It's like she doesn't seem like she's awesome at her job. Like she has this detective agency. How is this business stay in business if she's constantly fucking up all the goddamn time? You know what I mean?
She's always drunk. She's barely at the job. So how is that even staying open? And then it's like you literally have a woman who, and I understand there's a difference between the physicality and the mentality of her as a character. But physically speaking, she's near indestructible. She's almost, it's not even a threat. She's one of the strongest people, or debatably, in that universe. And yet you have an entire show where you take someone who's super powerful and find a way to take this person who's powerful and somehow make them a victim. Like, how do you do that? How do you take someone that's like from a position of power and arguably privilege, and yet somehow they're a victim for an entire season? Like, why?
To me, I feel like also the thing, she also doesn't actually grow as a character. She still is as selfish and horrible as she is in the beginning, and all the way up to the end.
I agree with all those things, but with all those things considered, I still kind of like the show. David Tennant is a beast, man. I really like David Tennant in that show as a Purple Man.
The Purple Man.
I just wanted
Jessica, Purple Man here.
I'm just saying, imagine how much better the show would have been if they just allowed her to kick more ass. And that's honestly, and that's something a lot of young women or women period want to see. They want to see women, they want to see female characters that kick ass and just happen to be female. They had an opportunity to do that here and they just didn't. And it kind of bewilders me as to why they didn't do that.
I was interested in seeing her actually be good at her job. Like, okay, why do you have this agency? How come? Are you actually good? No, you don't do any. Oh, okay. You kind of.
I love how.
You kind of drink.
I love how every 5 episodes of Throwdown, Throwdown it is, we always go back to shit on Jessica Jones. But anyway, let's answer the actual question though.
There's one thing I do appreciate that it got made, but at the same time I just did not enjoy it. I mean, most people did enjoy it, but not me.
Manny, what does that sound like? That's me and Gone Home. Okay, it's cool that it exists. It's not for me. Anyway, what show are you looking forward to? It doesn't have to be a superhero show. It could be any Netflix show. I
don't know what's coming up on Netflix. To be honest,
Knights of Sidonia, man. They got season 3 or something.
Are they? I don't know.
Wait, the anime?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a Netflix show.
That is a Netflix.
Oh, I didn't even know that was a Netflix show. Huh.
Usually before each one of them, they say Netflix. I feel like what happened though is that those shows actually get shown in Japan, but the thing is that maybe Netflix is buying the exclusive rights to have them on there. But I mean, I'd like to see a little more Knights of Sidonia. That Fairy Tale show was also considered a Netflix show too. Not Fairy Tale. The one that we saw for Opetanime, the one that I suggested.
7 Deadly Sins.
7 Deadly Sins was one too, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Carlos? What are you looking forward to?
Well, can we look forward to shows that already came out but we just haven't seen, or is it
sure?
just...
Why not? You know.
Yeah, because I still need to watch Narcos. The only reason I haven't started that is because I kind of was hesitant at first when I heard that one of the main characters was Brazilian, but they're speaking Spanish, so sometimes I just get out of the loop with the accent stuff. Yeah, but I can appreciate a show that does speak the language in the country in which, like, it's not like English speaking, they speak the language that's native to their country.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike this movie the Chilean Miners movie where freaking they all speak in English, and I'm like, come on, man. So yeah, like that's why I can appreciate stuff like Narcos. And did I already mention Master of None? The Season Sorry show?
No, I don't think you did, but now you did. And now you did.
Yeah, that looks pretty good. And Luke Cage, man, I can't wait. And
Luke
just
Cage.
I'd love to see Luke Cage. I mean, I like the actor that played him.
You mean
yeah,
Spartan Locke?
Yeah, he's good.
All right, Mike, what about you, man? What other shows you looking forward to?
I also
On
don't really
Netflix?
know what's coming to Netflix. Is Iron, what you call it, coming out this year?
Nah, not that I
No.
know of. No Iron Fist.
Because I'm kind of waiting for that. I hear murmurs that there's supposed to be a Blade that Netflix is supposed to be making. I don't know if that's true.
Hey man, call up Wesley Snipes. He ain't doing shit.
Yeah, don't
He's not
pay.
doing. Yeah, he's not doing anything, and he looks exactly the same as he
Yeah.
did when he did the first Blade. Just get him to do it again. He'll do it.
Yeah,
Just don't get sticky fingers to be
Yeah,
Blade again. We don't
let's
need
not
that.
talk about that. Let's
No,
not talk
man.
about that. That was not
No,
a good
I
look.
mean those Blade movies, well, with the exception of the third
First
one,
three.
the first
Yeah,
two
I'm talking
Blade
third,
films were
Yeah, first
pretty
three.
damn cool.
Donnie Yen was in the second one and did the choreography for that, so that's why that movie was amazing, by the way.
Yeah,
So.
it was
Hey
great.
man, that first Blade movie is what set it off. Our current comic book renaissance. Thank
Mhm.
Blade.
That is
whole
true.
shit on.
That's Blade. It was Blade up there.
So what is it for all the fans? What's the consensus best movies? Is it one or two? Like the better one out of the two.
That's debatable. I say two.
I say two as well because that had that badass superhero fight near the end, man. You never seen shit like that before.
What
All
are
the
the-
flying around and shit.
Suplex my man through glass.
Yes.
And then took off
Yes.
the elbow. I'm like, come on, this is hype.
To be honest, I dig number one because it didn't have as much of those goofy digital stunt doubles in it, where they're all like
Right.
they'll get all compared to cartoons. That's the one thing that bugged me. That first one was mostly pure martial arts and stuff, and I thought
And
it
the
was
second
a good
one-
intro.
The second one was a Del Toro one too, right?
That's
Yeah,
a
it
Del
was
Toro
a
one.
fantastic movie, man.
That's
I
why.
love that
That's why the enemies like faces were so detailed. They were so freaking sick, man.
Yeah.
I think 2 was my favorite.
Man, I want to watch that shit now again. Man.
Yeah, man.
Fucking awesome.
I
All right,
just watched 1 and 2, but 3 should never have happened.
yeah.
Jessica Biel's finance was in that movie. She couldn't save that movie, man. It was just bad.
Yo, man, freaking the dude from Prison Break could save that shit.
Oh, he ruined it. How are you gonna have a muscle-bound like brute Dracula, basically?
You know who they should have got? They should have gotten his brother from Prison Break, the dude who's a freaking Captain Cold.
And another thing I think that's the first Ryan Reynolds ruining comic book movies.
That was the first one.
That was the first one.
And-
He wasn't the only thing that ruined that film.
No,
Seriously.
which is, dude. But yeah, that was the first one. Then after that, obviously X-Men Origins, and then fucking Green Lantern. Oh man.
Is
Green
Deadpool next?
Yeah,
I hope
again.
Deadpool looks good from everything I've seen of it.
Yeah, but you know, again, okay, I'm gonna obviously Deadpool. You know that this new Deadpool is something different. But remember, Ryan Reynolds was Deadpool before. You're just
Right.
saying, saying.
Hey, here's the thing: when he was playing Deadpool, when he was a human being in the beginning of the film, I thought it was okay. X-Men Origins Wolverine. It got stupid when he became the Deadpool.
Yeah, oh, man.
Yeah, he became like.
But I will say this, because to me, he will always be Van Wilder, right? So Deadpool works for him, in that regard. If he could just be goofy and stupid like Van Wilder, it'll work.
I thought it was really interesting that they decided to go with a fully CG like Colossus in that one. Like he's like 7 feet tall. He's huge.
Yeah, they still got an actor though.
There's an actor playing him, but
yeah, we interviewed the guy, for Coalition, or the guy that used to play him. They replaced him with the original guy. It's like what? Mm-hmm. It's crazy. All right,
but then they made him 7 feet tall.
Yeah, well,
they had to do that. It's smart, honestly.
Yeah,
he's still getting his ass beat from when I saw him in all the snippets and stuff. I'm like,
yeah, exactly.
I don't think you guys understand this character, but all right, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's Colossus. Come on now. Anyway, Fern Gully with questions. With social media, YouTube, and message forums firmly cementing in the gaming world, do you think most people spend more time on these than actually playing games? There's a variation. It's a variation of a question we've gotten before, and I think from Fern Gully as well. But yeah, do you think people spend more time actually bitching about games and on forums about games than actually playing games? That's what it seems like to me. It's like, when do you guys actually play video games? Like, man, you know what? I'll fucking say it. I spent almost the entire fucking day getting yelled at by these Xbox dudes. Right now, they're yelling at my man Boogie for the same bullshit, the Let's Play thing. It's like, when do you guys actually play your games? Like, seriously.
You'd expect Rise of the Tomb Raider to sell better.
Yeah, how about you go buy Tomb Raider instead of bitching about no one buying it? How about that? You know, it's fucking insane.
I think everybody, you know, when you have those people that see what's happening and they move instantly to outrage, and though they don't actually take part in these things, they just kind of just get outraged that these certain things are not happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's insane. Mike, what's your perspective on this, man?
We see this in lots of things. It's not just video games. You see it in movies,
Yeah,
especially
movies and stuff.
Comic books. I see this all the time in comics. People getting outraged or complaining about stuff in comics that don't read freaking comics. It's like, why do you care what this character looks like? You don't read these. You're just being mad because someone else told you to be mad. Well, it's in video games now. Like, Tomb Raider undersold. I'm mad. Did you buy it? No, but I'm furious. Like, what? Then you're part of the problem. Like, you're mad at yourself.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I've said for a long time, I've always wondered when people played video games, because I've seen people get into long, drawn-out debates over days in comment sections and on podcasts and stuff like that. They just are. It's like, it's one thing like when I'm on a podcast with my friends, because even when I disagree with people, when we get into a heated debate, I'm still friends with that person. We talk after the show while we're actually playing video games. These people don't do that. They just sit there typing like keyboard warriors, angry, getting on social media, going on neo-Nazi gap and all those damn trollish sites. Yeah. And I'm like, when do you people actually play video games? Because I don't get it. You shouldn't have time to be this mad about some of this stuff. You should be enjoying the damn craft.
Yeah. I couldn't have said it better myself. That's exactly what it is. Like, why, if you love video games so much, why are you spending all your time bitching about video games? Why, like, instead of doing that, play video games. You know, come on. I guess you don't love them that much. I guess you like bitching more than actually playing. You know,
if there's an element or a specific title you don't like, instead of talking about that game, how about you not play the game and play a game you actually do like? Give that game some press. You know what I'm saying?
Same thing with consoles. If there's a console you don't like, don't buy the console. Play on your console.
Exactly. I've never understood how Xbox gets so mad about the way Sony News is presented, or what. I was like, why do you care? If you are an Xbox fan, and you see Sony News, and it doesn't really pertain to you because you're an Xbox fan, why are you watching Sony News?
Yeah,
that doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. If you're a Sony fan, why are you on Major Nelson's blog? If you're a Sony fan,
exactly.
That you should. Every time I'm on this blog when he announces a game release, and there's just Sony fans in the comment, I'm like, why are you here? You don't play these games. You don't play in this console. Go play games. Have fun. I don't understand.
And it's a simple thing to do, too. Just play your games. The thing you say you love so much.
Yep.
But no. Go ahead, Carlos. What were you going to say, man?
So
crazy.
So here's a situation when I was a little kid, during back the N64 days, I would only get a game either during my birthday or during Christmas. And I would play. I remember one year I got Sub-Zero, Mortal Kombat Sub-Zero, thinking it was going to be a freaking fighting game.
Oh, the mythologies?
Oh,
yes, man.
Oh my apologies,
Carlos, man.
Yeah, man. I couldn't return that shit. I couldn't do anything, man, and I was stuck with that game. So I could either play that game, like keep playing that game, or do anything else. And back in the day, there was no message boards. There was barely an internet. And what was there to go outside and play soccer or something? But like kids these days, man, all they got is the freaking internet. It's an extension of their right hand right now. It's in their cell phones, it's in their tablets, it's in their PCs. So all like if they don't have money to buy freaking video games or anything, all they have to do is just talk. And that's a hobby for them, you know?
Fucking sad, man. Like, go play your games, man. It's the simplest thing. Turn on your console and play. It's insane.
And the saddest thing is when you have grown men doing that shit.
Yeah, that's when it gets worse. It's like a lot of these dudes bitching. They're in their 30s, sometimes 40s, and they're still on this console shit. You know, that's the thing I don't get. It's like, don't you have, like, fucking kids and a wife? Like, why are you spending all your day, like, fucking just bitching about this shit on Twitter or fucking Facebook, YouTube, whatever? You know, it's fucking crazy. All right, next question here. All right, on Throwdown episode 69, Danny said that the fanboy stuff is killing our industry. My question is this: can you think of a time/console generation when fanboys didn't exist? I mean 10 to 20 years ago. These same motherfuckers you could find working or shopping in your local GameSpot, Best Buy, or Toys R Us, spewing their propaganda and hate. Now they are on YouTube, Twitter, message boards, and so forth. I think fanboyism has always been a huge part of gaming and will never go away, especially now that cats can make money from doing this shit. Yeah, okay, here's the thing about consoles wars or fanboys, whatever you want to call them. They've always been here, right? But I honestly believe because of the internet, it's louder now because, you know, back in the day, you could talk shit about a console. You're still going to go and at least look at it. I was the same way. I hated on fucking Sony all day, but I still saw Manny playing PlayStation and stuff, you know, and some stuff was cool. But the thing is now guys don't do that. They just like, oh, fuck it, it sucks, you know, clack, 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 all this shit. You know, so the console wars. There's never been a time where this has happened. Maybe again, we're gonna ask Torrance about this. Maybe when the only console out there was the Atari 7600. Maybe that's the only time console wars didn't exist. But I'm pretty sure you still had fanboy wars with certain games. You know what I'm saying? Like Pac-Man's better than fucking Defender or whatever. You know. But yes, fanboyism in general, with human beings, has always been fanboyism. People like this side better. They like this side better because we're tribal by nature. We're animals. Think about that. You know, so we're always gonna pick a side. But as far as consoles goes, I think the console wars really ratcheted up. Like at least from what I noticed around the Sega, Genesis, Super Nintendo era. But it's gotten worse now, and I blame that specifically on the internet. Just making people that would normally wouldn't say shit, like you said, they wouldn't say this shit in real life. They can say it on the internet because they're anonymous. You know, asshole 720 or whatever. He can say whatever he wants because no one's gonna know who he is. You know.
See,
Manny, yeah, go ahead.
Oh,
go ahead, Mike. Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead, Mike.
I was gonna say, I mean, I remember back in the day on like the original NES and the Genesis, or the Sega Master System, sorry, and like SNES and the Genesis and all that kind of stuff. People would pick a console and they would swear up and down that console was better, or that version of the game was better on that console. But at the end of the day, someone in your circle of friends, or even in your family, had that console you didn't have. Mm-hmm. So as much as you were aligned with, like, let's say you were aligned with Nintendo, like I was. My cousins and all of my friends had Sega systems. When I went to their house, guess what I played? I played Sega systems. And it wasn't like, oh, this is like a once a year. No. I'm talking on a weekly basis. I was still playing Sega because my friends had that. Just like them, they were playing Nintendo because they would come over to play with me. And it wasn't, you got used to the controller. You learned the game. You appreciated the games because there were still exclusives back then. You started to appreciate the exclusives they had because your friends had them. Whereas now, when you look at the console wars and the fanboys, it's not just, oh, I prefer this system, or this is the system I think is better. It's because gaming is more, mainstream, so it's more common to see people with multiple consoles. But people don't do that now. It's just like, oh, I like Xbox. Xbox is better because I say so. If you don't buy an Xbox, you're a Sony pony. It's like, what? And then it's like there's all this wherewithal that comes from it. There's actual like mainstream gaming sites that play into the console war stuff to make money. I do think it's having an impact on gaming and from the business side and whatnot. It's an unfortunate one too, because if not for this console war nonsense, I mean, exclusives wouldn't be as big as of a deal as they are now, or they were in the past. I think that's slowly starting to go away. I think people are actually starting to finally get tired of the fanboyism in gaming. I think people are starting to see it's kind of stupid because there's good stuff everywhere.
Yeah, I was just gonna say this. Like, you're right about the companies. I never really thought about this, but you're right. The companies kind of do play it up because think about it now. What's the new term they've come up with? Console exclusive. Right there, you're gonna create division. Yep.
Yep.
Even though, even though that is a technical term, if you are also on PC, you're not an exclusive anymore. Sorry, Street Fighter. Let's just be honest here. But you use that as ammo in the fucking war and shit. And it's crazy now. And you're right though. Back in the day, you'd still go play these other consoles. But now, the way these guys talk, it seems like if you brought them an Xbox, they would be like, no.
Yes. You could give them, not even let them. You could say, here is a free Xbox with games, and they would take that as sacrilege, and they would never play it.
Yeah, that's the way these guys are acting. Because this is what I said on Throwdown. I said this maybe like 3 months ago. If you were offered every single system, right, and you say no, you are not a gamer. That's just the truth. What real gamer doesn't want to own every system? People can't afford every system. That's understandable, right? But if you had the choice and you claim to be a real gamer, you would have every system, unless you just have something like totally against their business practice, right? But you would own every system. So these guys act like, no, I'm not going to accept that in my home. This is heresy. It's like you're getting to that point now where you're like religious zealots. It's mind-boggling, and it seems to me like it's getting worse all the fucking time. Like, what is this going to lead to? Like I don't understand where this is going. And then the other thing about the console war, okay, because let's just be honest, console wars don't really exist. These guys, Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, they all go to fucking dinner with each other. They all go to lunch with each other. They're not fighting each other.
Yep.
The console wars exist in your fucking head. Are you gonna honestly tell me that when you're a 60-year-old man, you're gonna tell your fucking grandkids about the great console war of 2007 or some nonsense like that? Get the fuck out of here, man. You're like, oh, yeah, like, I remember clearly we went over the top, and I was rained by machine gun fire by the Sony ponies, and I saw my friends go down. Like, come on, man. The console war doesn't fucking exist, except you fucking idiots keep perpetuating this shit. It is ridiculous, man. Carlos, go ahead, man. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with everything you said, and it's ridiculous. But I disagree with one of the premises said on that question that says that the fanboy stuff is killing our industry. It might kill our intelligence more than anything, but killing the industry. I mean, they're passionate about it. I don't see why it would hurt the industry per se when it comes to like sales and stuff like that.
I'm glad you said that in terms of sales, because it hurts us as far as reputation goes. Because imagine if you're somebody on the outside looking in, you're like, yo, what the fuck is up with these gamers? That's what they're going to see. They're going to see, like, childish, and it is childish, childish behavior, bickering over a piece of fucking plastic.
Yeah, and I think we've always gotten this fanboy war since the early days, Yeah. But like you guys said, it's just been more amplified with the internet, and that shit's not ever gonna end.
Yeah, I believe it's going to get worse.
Yeah, it could get worse. I mean, it depends on how much the industry grows, and depending on if we're still going to have 3 consoles in the future.
Yeah, and you know what? And I got to just say this, and this is a little bit of a side shoot, but I find it like incredibly insane how these guys are still on the same bullshit, PS4 versus Xbox, when there are bigger problems out there in the gaming industry. Like, there are forces outside the gaming industry that want to destroy gaming, but we're over here fighting each other instead.
Like mobile games?
No, not that. I'm talking about these fucking people of a certain ideology. I'm not going to say it. Mike, you already know where I'm heading with this. They think that gaming is misogynistic or all this shit. These people want to actively destroy gaming, right? Yet you're fighting the same fucking war. Basically, think about it like this. Imagine if another country is trying to invade America, right? During the Civil War. Easy pickings, Easy fucking pickings. And that we're making it easier for these idiots to destroy us. That's the thing that aggravates me. Why are you talking about fucking Sony and Microsoft when there are bigger fucking problems out there, which we've addressed on the show many times. But no, you guys are too fucking stupid with this console shit. It pisses me off. Manny, go ahead.
Is it destroying the industry?
Basically, was there ever a time where you didn't see this?
Well, yeah, when there was no internet. Not everybody had a voice, to be honest. When the only forums that you could actually voice your opinions were actually the video game magazines and sending them in, and even those were heavily edited to kind of portray the best of what was out there. So yeah, I mean, I miss the quiet. I miss the point where you actually do find somebody who enjoys the same things you do in just that moment, as opposed to kind of having everybody yelling at each other over one thing over another. But you
have gaming sites literally telling you that you're dead as a gamer, right? But we're not talking about that. We're going to talk about PS4 versus Xbox One. Are you fucking kidding me? It boggles my mind.
One thing I would like to add is back in the day, maybe 10, 15 years ago, we used to be the outcasts, the gamers. Yeah. We were the outcasts, so it was us against the whole world. Everyone used to talk shit about us, So we used to be more united in that sense, and now that gaming is mainstream, it's
Now that it's cool to be a gamer, so that people who aren't even gamers call themselves gamers, even though they're trying to tear down and change what gaming is. But that's a different discussion. I see exactly what you're saying is true. Like, I think that becoming pop culture friendly has kind of helped destroy the the unity gamers used to have, because you couldn't afford to just say, oh, this person plays a Sega system, I'm not rocking with him, or he's whack. Like, no, you didn't have that luxury back then. It was tough to find someone else that would identify publicly as a gamer. Now, no. So people can trash on that. It's like, oh, let's make marks in the sand. Our camp is superior to your camp because we paid for this piece of plastic and you paid for that one. Like, what?
Fucking ridiculous, man.
All right.
It is, man. It's really, man. All right. When all of you guys were younger, how many of you only had one TV in the house and had to be creative when it came to your gaming? Some people have talked about this. Manny, you're gonna say something?
Oh no, I actually had two televisions in my house. One in my mom's room and where I was, and also one in the living room. So I could kind of pick and choose between the which one I kind of wanted. Sometimes, the one thing I also, I won a candy sale a couple of times, and actually one point I had two Nintendo consoles on each television.
Oh shit! Nice, fancy.
Oh, this man living a life of privilege over here. It sounds like.
What you mean winning a candy sale, dude? All it is just people getting candy, and you just pick the prize, whichever one. So it's like, all right, I guess I'll get another Nintendo because all these other things are dumb.
Yeah, I'm in the same thing. I've always had at least two televisions in the house, so that was never an issue. If I'm playing my video game here, somebody go watches TV in the other.
It was just about. It was just for me. It was just about which room had the air conditioner.
All right, Mike. What about you? You ever faced a situation?
Yeah, there was a time when my dad was still in Nigeria, so it was just me, my mom, and my sister. So we only had one TV. You can already imagine. I was, as the only male in the house back then. But that's why I got into comics and manga, actually. Because I couldn't play games whenever I wanted to. Like, they would just commandeer the television. So I would read comics and manga and stuff, and then what I would do, and I don't advise kids do this, when they were sleeping, I would wake up at night. Even when I had school, I'd wake up at night. I'm gonna get a couple hours in on this game because I demanded to do so. And I remember actually my mom caught me one time, and she was mad. But my mom, kudos to her, I actually explained to her why I did this. Because I could never play video games. When was the last time I asked you or Whitney, oh, can I play video games while you guys went and raided or something? You said okay. And a couple weeks later, we got our first time. That's the first time we started having two TVs, and it was in the basement. And ever since then, I never had that issue. No one would ever bother me in the basement. I was always down there gaming. So
nice.
Yeah.
Carlos, what about you, man?
Yeah, when I was around 4 years old, we used to only have one TV. We used to live in a trailer, pretty much like a trailer park kind of thing. But we lived in another person's property, and there was only one room, so that logically there's only going to be one TV. And we had a Nintendo that my cousins used to bring around, and they used to monopolize the whole use of that NES. And I used to watch a lot of Super Mario, but I knew every stage and every bug, but I never played it when I was.
What, they didn't let you play it, man?
Yeah, they didn't let me play.
Wow.
So that was. And that was the only time I've had one TV and in a situation where I had one TV in the whole house.
All right. The last question here from Fern Gully. This is a funny one. Have you ever had or been able to experience a slip and slide or crocodile mile? If so, did you always have that fat kid in line who fucked shit up for everybody?
What the hell?
Man, all right, so has anybody experienced this? Nobody in my family ever had one of these, so I can't say. But I know people that had that. It's I could just imagine, think about it, slip and slide and stuff. For you guys who don't know, it's basically a plastic kind of tarp or whatever, and you run water through it and you slide on it. But when a fat kid would go through, man, yeah, it would because he's too fat, so it kind of fuck up the size of it. love it.
I shouldn't be laughing at this, but that is kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie.
No, come on, it's hilarious. I'm fat. You can laugh, man. It's funny. This man, this fat ass just ruining it for everybody. Maybe scrunch it up in the middle, you know. But anyway, Manny, go ahead. Do you have an answer?
I mean, I've never been. I was, I mean, semi-urban-ish area. I mean, we didn't have enough lawn for that sort of stuff. And when I did,
Hispanics don't really do that. By the way.
I did go to this thing called the Fresh Air Fund, and it's, if you guys ever heard of it, it was like, it's for inner city kids to kind of go out into, to places, more rural areas, and live with like it's almost like a summer camp, but you live with a family from another state. So I tried it there, and I remember going on the thing. I'm like, this isn't as cool as the commercial says. I don't think I want to do this anymore. Because, you see everybody sliding on it, and they're all happy, and then I'm like, man, my hands are covered in mud, and forget it.
What about you guys? You ever experienced a slip and slide?
We've never had a slip and slide. We used to always go to this park called Wet and Wild Water World, and man, there used to be this thing called the river thing, or Rio or something like that. It was the grossest fucking pool you could ever get into, man. But other than that, I never really experienced anything close to that.
All right, what about you, Mike?
Yeah, we never owned it, but I went to a day camp, I think, once, where my sister was there, and I was there one day with her just because I just had to be there for whatever reason. I still don't understand. But they had the slip and slide thing, and I just remember like kids were going way too fast down it, so they would slide off to the side and get they were, I guess, the equivalent of rug burn, but on like grass and stuff like that.
Grass burn or whatever.
Yeah, they would, because they were flying down this thing, and then they would just slide off the side, and then they had scrapes on the knee and stuff like that, and then when they went to go shower, it would burn and stuff. That was funny as hell to me, but it looked fun. I've never tried that. The only thing close to that I can think of is the one thing where you have that word, I forgot what it's called. You have that one really, really large inflatable balloon thing that floats on the water in like a river or something, and someone jumps on it, and you get sent flying.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I tried that once.
Like heavyweights.
That was funny. That was fun as hell, except for the one time where somebody kind of went too far and they didn't land in the river. They landed on the other side.
Oh,
shit.
I mean, he was fine, but man, that day, that laughter, that was one of those times where I thought I was not going to live after laughing. That was the most painful laughs. It was bad.
All right, next up here, Red Inferno 124, or Corey Dillon, as you guys may know him. All right, is it hypocritical?
Wait. This is the first time we've gotten something from Corey, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's kind of funny. I kind of piece it together. I don't think Corey knew how to answer questions or ask questions before, because he's obviously a huge fan of ours. He's always leaving comments on regular Throwdown. Never anything. I mean, he's commenting on Throwdown Your Questions, but never asked questions. And today, I posted, like always, I posted this episode, the previous episode. I'm like, hey, if you want to ask this question for this episode, leave comments. He's like, this is the last episode. I'm like, yeah, that's how we do things, man. It's always been like that. So he starts leaving me questions on Twitter. I'm like, dude, questions in the comments, the way it's always been done. So I think, yeah, this is his first time doing this. Very interesting, considering he's been following us for years.
Yeah.
All right, so first question is it hypocritical when YouTubers rile up their fans to go out and bash or harass a product, person, or community only to hide from criticism by claiming they are neutral when presented with actual facts? So this one, I know what he's getting at, because he got blocked by Crap Gamer, who called me a pussy today, by the way. He got called, he got called out by Crap Gamer for something, and then Corey responded, and then Crap Gamer blocked him and stuff. And apparently, I mean, in general, it's like, there are people out there that say controversial things, and then they just end up blocking people anyway. So what do you think about all that? Because I'm like, yo, if you're gonna say something, just stick with it. Like I say a bunch of shit, and I'm like, fuck it, just let it happen. I got a bunch of shit thrown at me today, but I didn't start blocking people. It's like, all right, man, that's how it is. It
would take a lot for me to block someone online. You must be someone that just it's just you'd have to be a person who it is counterproductive for me to even engage with you. Like most times I just ignore people. Like if I block you, you must be literally somehow draining me of attention and energy. So, and that, yeah, I don't know the Crap Gamer dude or chick. It could be a chick, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know this person.
Guy.
Okay. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know this dude or know of him, so I can't speak on him on that situation specifically. But the way he described it, I mean, it's kind of a loaded question. Of course, it's hypocritical. If you are a person in a position where you can rile up people to go against a person or a brand or something, and then at the same point in time, when people come back at you for that, say, "Oh, well, I'm not in a position to do that." Yeah, that's hypocritical. Like definitively hypocritical.
Well, yeah, I mean, to answer the actual question, yes, it is very hypocritical. By the way, Mike, you and I are in the same boat. It's like, unless you do something really crazy, I'm not blocking you on Twitter. I could name everybody I've blocked on Twitter in one hand. And ironic enough, one was a PlayStation fanboy, another one was a Xbox fanboy. It just got to a point, I'm like, listen, you're clogging up my shit with all this nonsense. I'm fucking blocking you because you're just making no sense. I'm trying to talk sense into you. You're not fucking listening. I'm done with you,
The funny thing is, I don't even think I have any fanboys blocked. I think I have this one chick, this Puerto Rican chick I used to date. Not even date. I used to smash. Let's keep it 100.
Keep it real.
It was casual, and she got crazy. So I did the mature thing and blocked her because can't really win an argument with a woman on the internet because she's a woman, so you're gonna lose by default. So I just blocked her.
Yeah.
And I think that's the only person I have blocked. That might be it. Maybe there's others, but I don't think anyone video game related. Because in most cases, if someone is just outright dumb or ignorant, I just don't listen to them anymore.
Yeah, I actually have 2 other people blocked, but I'll tell you guys who those are after the show.
Yeah, keep that. Yeah.
For me, I have never really blocked anybody. What I have done is, sometimes you get a lot of that annoying spam, where essentially they retweet something that you say, and then they say, hey, if you like this, you like this. I usually just send the flag out after them, through YouTube. I meant through Twitter, was saying that they're doing some sort of stupid advertising bullshit. But yeah, that's the only thing, and that thing usually automatically just blocks people. So
interesting. I never had that experience really.
No, I get it. I've gotten it more, even more from the, because certain things, certain ones of my tweets get tweeted a lot, and a lot of times those stupid bots come after that stuff, and that's what they'll do.
Yeah. By the way, is there anyone here that doesn't think this isn't hypocritical? Because it is. Like if you're gonna dish it out, you should be able to take it.
Well, the thing is that like I think one thing that's kind of stinks nowadays is that now people have the ability to just ignore instead of actually have a conversation. Or you just turn off somebody else. If we're gonna go down this road, why not defend yourself? Why not say the things that need to be said? As opposed to just turning everything off.
Yeah. We know a lot of guys in the mainstream media who do that constantly.
It's sad because it's like what a person can't have, especially if it's a person that's okay. I'm gonna say yes. If a person starts to become harass that person, yes, I can understand that why that person blocked that person. But at the same time, I can't see blocking a person for having a different opinion than you have.
Yeah, and that's happened to me. I've been blocked by Adam Sessler. I said one thing to this man that got retweeted. He blocked me for even though because I had a different view. Fucking Arnita Sarkeesian blocked me. I've never even talked to this woman. And this other dude, Tariq Mosa, who writes for Polygon, he blocked me. I've never talked to this man.
Maybe here's the thing. This is one thing that we may not need to touch on, but things get around. People aren't just because they're not saying in the public about certain people get blacklisted for reasons.
Yeah, I'm very sure, especially since remember the whole thing with Gamergate. I was very vocal about that, so I'm pretty sure I'm on some block lists or whatever, right?
Yeah, there's a bunch of block lists. That's what I was gonna say. So you might be on a block list, unfortunately, where people just block you for no reason.
Fucking well.
I've checked if I was on a block list. Surprisingly, I'm not. But that's because I guess I don't know. I guess I don't know.
The thing is, again, why can't people have a different opinion, and why can't people say certain things, especially if they're talking sensibly? Not if they're just yelling at each other, blah, 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 but if they're having a sensible conversation, why does it have to break down to the level where, I'm going to block you, I don't need to listen to what you have to say?
Because it's easier that way, and it makes you feel right in your opinion.
To be honest, like I've had some really mean, like like not on Twitter, but on some really assholey things said about my artwork on DeviantArt. I don't block these people. I just say whatever. You know what I mean?
Well,
Yeah.
that's the other thing. Like, we live in a current age now. People are a lot more sensitive, and they're soft. I don't know a better way of they're soft as hell now.
Right. So,
So people want an echo chamber. They want an area where they can only speak to people that agree with everything they say. And if you disagree, the fact that you disagree makes you wrong. Period.
or
Not
you
the grounds
trigger-
of what you're saying. Or like what you're saying. Even if what you're saying, you're being respectful. You're just disagreeing. You're trying to engage them and maybe learn something or maybe teach them something. They don't want that. You disagree with me. Something is wrong with you. You're clearly scum. Get out. And I mean, it's not even. There's people on like all, and I'm not. It's not even just a small group of people. Like there's people on like all political alignments or views or anything, or even all forms of media or entertainment that do this. I personally don't understand that. If you are respectful to me, disagree with me all you want. Most of my friends don't agree with me on everything I say. I'm fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you're respectful, it's cool. Hell,
That's see
that's
that's
I'm fine with that too.
that's the magic of having a conversation with people that may not have the same opinions as you. Yes, you may not agree on some things, but you may agree on some others. That's cool. You can have people that don't have the same perspective. That's what makes things awesome. Because okay, maybe at some point you're like, oh right, this guy doesn't have that same opinion. Let's hear what he has to say.
Yeah, that's
maybe
my thing.
maybe
I like hearing the other side because it's like maybe
Exactly.
they're thinking something that I may not have thought of. But the thing is, the instant you block anybody, you have cut that conversation off instantly. You know, where does that get us? What good does that do to block someone?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you want to block someone for like filling up your timeline with horse shit, okay, but because they disagree with you.
Yeah, I don't see the need.
We're soft now, you know. It's a soft country, you know. We want to live in these hug boxes and shit. Only people who align with us. I'm like, just bring it, man. I want to hear all the like. I was getting, like I said, I got fucking like. Here's the thing. I was gonna say harassed. No, I wasn't. You can't get harassed on the internet. It's literally impossible to get harassed on the internet. Something that happens on my phone cannot harass me, you know. But again, I was getting like messages sent by all these Xbox guys. Okay, bring it. I want to hear what you have to say, even if you're a fucking nut. You know, this is different perspectives, whatever. You know, but they don't want that. They want the same shit. They want everybody to think the same, to act the same, to feel the same. It's insane, man. It's fucking crazy. Carlos, what do you say about all this?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if you can't continue a discourse, then why start a conversation? It's like you're just trying to shell yourself into like an echo chamber, like you guys said. And I mean, Red Inferno, why would you even? I mean, if you know this guy's a hypocrite, why would you even waste your breath on this person? Because I mean,
yeah, good question.
Like really, there's so many other people you can like listen and follow. Just don't waste your time on this person.
Yeah,
that's what I would do.
I definitely agree with that too. It's like, you know, obviously you see the kind of hypocrisy that kind of happens with this person, but at the same time, don't even waste your time with him. You know, continue to do the things that you know what you think is fun. Don't even worry about how this guy does his thing, because obviously he's found if making money and having podcasts was a problem, he found his own solution. That's it's through outrage and all that other BS that kind of fanning the flames. That's what he's gotten. Don't even bother with it. Because at the same time, it's like telling somebody that there's if they believe something so intently, right, that they're right, and they're not willing to listen to any other side, they're not open.
Yeah, so why waste your breath on them or your finger, whatever.
Yeah,
on
your finger strength.
Yeah. All right, next question here. This is funny. If Sony is so broke, how can they be paying off the media for positive press coverage? Yeah, because the consensus now among the Xbox guys is that Sony is buying off people, for good coverage for The Witness, for example, right? Which I think is a bad kind of game, My thing is, like, I wish Sony was paying me. I wish, No, listen. You go ahead.
The Witness?
The Witness, the puzzle game, Jonathan Blow game.
So that's not the game that came out like in E3 like 7 years ago, right?
Oh,
No,
the
no.
guy that made Braid.
Yeah, the guy that made Blade.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah, I got it confused with something else.
Yeah,
Sorry.
but here, okay, let me just break down the hypocrisy. The story's always like Sony's broke; they're gonna go bankrupt any day. But if they're bankrupt, how can they afford, to send, money to all these publishers? I mean, not publishers, to journalists and shit. It's like, which is it, guys? Are they broke or are they rich?
See,
Which
yeah,
is
I've
it?
never understood that. Like, first of all, Sony is not paying anybody for anything because they don't have to. Because they have more consoles sold than anyone. They don't even know how they're selling consoles right now. They're doing very well. They don't need to buy press. Like, that's just dumb. I don't know why anyone would even say that and seriously think that. But it was equally dumb last gen when people accused Microsoft of buying their own systems to inflate console sales. It's like people actually think that way. I've never understood that. You think a company can make money by spending money in itself? That'd be like paying yourself for vegetables you grew yourself. Like, you're not getting anything from that. Here, right hand, here's left hand, $5. Thank you, I'm $5 richer. No, that's your $5. You haven't gained anything from that.
Yeah, it's like let me take $5 out of my left pocket and put it in my right pocket.
In my right pocket.
It's still the same
profit. Like, no, that doesn't make any sense. Like, Sony isn't doing this. Why do people, like, if you seriously think this, take your tinfoil cap off your head right now, okay? Unplug your microwave that you clearly sit right in front of every day, and go get hope. Go get hope. Seriously.
I think they're trying to accuse Sony of what the music industry was accused of with the radio, where essentially how like the radio essentially has that always has that same playlist that plays throughout the whole day, and through different sorts of perks, the music industry has got cornered the market and been able to make certain songs more readily available than others. And they're trying to accuse Sony of that same sort of thing, which is silly. The thing is that okay, obviously even Microsoft they throw perks out to these guys too, but I don't think this is a situation that's going on.
Yeah, but here's the thing: they're rich or poor depending on the narrative you want to tell that day. That's what it really stems down to. If you want to make fun of Sony, you're gonna say they're broke. If you want to talk shit about Sony and how they're evil, you say they're rich and they're paying everybody off.
And that's it. And if you're going to talk about the rich thing, you got to talk Microsoft, because Microsoft they've got some serious money.
Microsoft could probably buy fucking Sony if they wanted to.
Yes.
Come on now, you're going to talk about rich. Microsoft.
You shouldn't have said that. You're about to get attacked in the comment section. Be warned.
Bring it. I've been attacked all.
No, but I mean the thing is that it makes obvious sense. I mean, Microsoft's business is not fucking video games. Microsoft's business is operation systems.
Yeah.
And that's some serious money. That's not video game money,
Yeah, exactly.
We talked about this. We talked about this on the last Throwdown, where essentially it's like, in that situation, it's like Microsoft, so for Sony right now, the Sony PlayStation brand is probably their biggest money maker.
Yeah,
right.
Bigger than their TV market and all the other products that they make.
But the Xbox is not the Microsoft's biggest brand.
Exactly.
It's what we all are using right now to do this podcast. Computer. All right. And the last question here is a little bit of an inappropriate question because it's kind of early, but whatever. What are some awesome megatrends you're hoping for from E3 for Xbox and PlayStation? I don't know. It's too early for that.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Can I say something real quick?
Oh yeah, go ahead, man.
If they show, okay, people are gonna get mad at me for this.
Uh-oh.
Sony press conference. If they show The Last Guardian, that's not a megaton. I'm sorry, that is not a megaton anymore.
Thank you. I've been saying that for 2 years now. Announcing something that that'd be like me saying I'm expecting a delivery from Amazon because I ordered a computer part, and then the computer part finally arrives like 2 weeks late. Megaton! No, it's supposed to be here already. Been fucking waiting for it. I'm a Last Guardian fan. I want the game to come. I'm hoping that it's good. I'm gonna get it day one. I'm planning on platinuming it. If they give me a release date at E3, it's not a megaton. It's like, okay, finally.
So the
Exactly.
thing is, people are going to see it as a megaton because we've been waiting for that for fucking years, you know?
But
I
So,
you
think
can't
I think
reward a company for like being late and doing bad sloppy work. I'm not. I mean, in terms of like not giving us a game when it was supposed to come. Like you can't reward them and say, "Oh, they did a great job at this conference, finally giving us a release date for a game that's like 7 years late." Like what?
I think for a situation like Last Guardian, the reason why it worked last, for last E3, it's like, oh shit, it's actually still being developed.
yeah,
We
because
thought it was canceled.
dude, I thought the game was canceled already. I'm like, okay, that shit's
You
been
know.
canceled. So to me, I was like, oh, they're actually still making it.
Yeah, so I
Okay.
mean, this year they'd have to show a fucking working game on PS4 or
Yeah,
whatever,
that would not be a
a
megaton at
full-on
all.
game. They have to have that shit on the show floor.
Yeah,
Because if that's the case, it's gonna be 3 megatons for one game.
Hold on. Mike, I gotta ask you a question real quick. What do you make of the fact, this is off topic, but still kind of on topic. What do you make of the fact that Square Enix is going to launch an event to reveal the launch date of Final Fantasy 15? What do you make of
I
that?
think that Square Enix is smart because they realize how dumb their fans are, generally speaking. Because what they're doing, you could literally send out a press release to everyone that's on your email list at Square Enix. Here's the date of the release of Final Fantasy VII, right? No, we're gonna waste money and make this big ass event for you guys to like. Because I mean, what are they gonna show at the event? Like, are they just gonna have some dude or lady walk up and say the date?
Greg Miller's hosting it. Greg Miller's hosting it.
Yeah, they're making this big thing. They're probably going to show other Square games they have coming. Cool. So what they're doing is, you people are buying this game already. We know that. But you don't know about these other games we got coming, though. So we're going to force feed this down your throat, and then at the end of the show, we're going to put a date on the screen and walk off the stage. Something that you could easily handle with a tweet from the Square Tweet account, or an email, or a press release to all the big publications. Like, I mean, they're taking advantage of their fans. But let's be honest. Final Fantasy fans deserve this because they keep asking them to release the same game over and over again and be taken advantage of. So props to Square. That's a hell of a hustle. They need to write a book. That's what I have to say.
I'm glad I asked you. That's why I'm glad I asked you. But yeah, again, I can't really answer this question. I don't know. Ask me this question again closer to E3. Then we could talk.
First party games, exclusive games that look like they're freaking awesome. Like, I don't know if Horizon was at E3 or it was
Yeah, it was E3. Yeah.
like Horizon, the equivalence version of Horizon for a new game. That would be a megaton.
Yeah, if we got like 3 of those per conference and stuff, I think that'd be pretty good. 3 new IPs, and even better, they're all coming out this fall. That would be nice. Would be nice. Not saying it is going to happen, but it would be nice. Like Fallout 4 had the perfect launch. It's like, okay, E3, here's the game. It's coming 6 months from now. Here's the game 6 months from now. That's how all games should be, But we don't get that. We get, Final Fantasy 15 or Last Guardian or fucking, or Watch Dogs
Or Agent.
or Agent. The fucking game that doesn't even exist anymore, as far as I'm concerned.
Do you know how hyped people were for that game?
Man, I was hyped for it.
And then it just went away.
So let me do a quote. And this was like the same year it was introduced, and mind you, it was just a title. It was no gameplay, it was no screenshots or anything. And I remember, and I love Hip Hop Gamer, but he said this game has a potential to be Game of the Year.
You couldn't say that.
I just remember.
Wait, what? Wait, with no game footage or nothing, just the title of the game of the year. You know what? Hip hop, but he's not the only one doing it. Let's keep it honest.
He wasn't the only one. To be fair, he wasn't the only one.
That is true, man. Hip hop. Why am I not surprised he said shit like that? Yo, Game of the Year, man. You see them graphics on that title?
That font, dude. Comic Sans, Game of the Year. Like what? But hell, people were calling certain games Game of the Year last year. Before people were calling Fallout 4 Game of the Year at E3.
Yeah.
That's just how people work. Like they're just quick to dub something. The hype train comes and it's just all aboard, choo choo. They don't think or anything like that. So we'll see. I don't know.
Oh,
people are already calling Final Fantasy Game of the Year. I'm like, it's not fucking out yet. You don't even know that it's coming this year. Like, how is it Game of the Year?
Yeah, technically speaking, it isn't. But I've made those things like Metal Gear coming Game of the Year. But the thing is, I know me. I knew that would be my personal Game of the Year, and it was. But
Well, it's Kojima and his last Metal Gear game.
man, all right, we're not
His
getting into
last
that.
Metal Gear. Yeah, it's kind of sad when you think about
Yeah,
it.
the last Metal Gear game, as far as I'm concerned. I don't give a fuck if they make any more Metal Gears. That's the last Metal Gear game. Before the show, we were talking about the real final arcs of shit for anime. This is my final Metal Gear, you know. Even if they make 6 more, you know.
What happens if Konami puts out another Metal Gear game and it's actually solid? You won't even try it?
Well, then it'll be Rising.
I'm gonna try it. Ooh, ugh. Rising.
Well, the thing is that even Rising was done through Kojima's,
yeah.
tutelage.
I mean, like,
So
if it's good, I'll give it props. But I'm not holding out any hope. You know, that's all I'm saying. But that's a pretty low bar, so they can.
I just asked because it seems like Kojima, Konami, sorry, is in a really they're in a lose-lose situation. Like it doesn't matter what they put out, people are going to trash it because of what happened with them and Kojima. I'm not saying that what they did with Kojima was right.
No, you're right.
I disagreed with how they treated Kojima, but me, I always got to play devil's advocate. I always got to look at both sides. Like they can't do right now. So even if they put out a quality game, people are just going to shit on it. That kind of bothers them to me, or that bothers me a little bit. I'll be honest.
Because with all what happened, I definitely think there's going to be before the next Metal Gear game comes, because they supposedly said that they're working on it, or they're going to have building a team for it. I definitely think there's going to be a few years, quite a bit of years between the next one, whatever it is.
Yeah, who knows?
And the team. If it's whatever the leftover Metal Gear Solid 4 5
Remember,
team,
they're trying to hire new.
They're also hiring new people. We don't know how many of the original team are still there, so they definitely have an uphill battle. Maybe as bad as the guys that make Halo. Not right now.
Oh yeah, 343. They're
343.
Yeah,
and even I hate to say it, even the coalition, not us, the coalition, but the coalition that makes the new Gears of War game, that's going to be a very difficult sell, since there's no Cliff Bleszinski, no Epic Games guys working on it, maybe a couple guys working on it.
One of the Rod Ferguson, I believe, he's still on it, but yeah, it's going to be tough, for sure. But I think, like Mike said, fucking Konami's in a worse situation than that.
Yeah, because they literally they at no point did they try to even make it seem right, not right, but like explain their actions. And it's of course we're just getting one portion of it, just like, oh fuck this guy, whatever, they hate this guy and all this stuff. They're really obviously should have seen what that might do to their reputation, but at the same time, I don't even think they care about their reputation.
They probably don't give a fuck. They got their pachinko machines.
I mean, by the way, has anybody decided to look at the Konami, not the Konami USA Twitter, but the Konami Japan Twitter? I mean, not Twitter, YouTube. It's all like pachinko and arcade. Like arcade, gambly type of games that they're showing off now.
Shit.
Yeah,
wow.
They just had some sort of funky event with all these arcade games that they are making, which are kind of like semi-gambling arcade games.
That's crazy. But again, the video game thing for Konami is always the side thing. That pachinko shit, where they really make their money.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's actually a really good video by this guy named Bunny Hop. I mean, I'm sure you guys might know. I'm not sure if you guys know, but he a long time ago he kind of uncovered a lot of the weirdity that was going on with Konami, and Konami had like pulled his video and all this other BS that happened. But anyway, he kind of got a bunch of followers from it. But in this one, he talks about how what the laws in Japan what has changed, and why a place like SNK is moving away from pachinko machines, and why a place like Konami is moving toward pachinko machines, which it's a really interesting video.
You gotta link me to that, because I can see that, because I'm an SNK fan and I'm happy that they're actually getting away from that. Mm-hmm. So
it really just has to do to break it down. It just really has to do with what things that they can make into gambling machines, and how they can certain things. Turning into semi-games of skill is how they can make it work, or whatever. It's an interesting investigation type of thing he does.
All right, let's move on here. Questions from Carlos.
Mr. Romero.
I like this first question, because I kind of nudged Carlos in this direction because I was like, hey, we're gonna talk about this Fine Brothers shit on Throwdown, right? And he was like, aren't you gonna talk about it tonight? I'm like, we can't talk about it tonight unless we get asked about it. Wink, wink, wink. And I sent him a link to the podcast. So yeah, let's talk about Fine Brothers. So for you guys who don't know, Fine Brothers, they make those grandparents reacts, kids react, those type of videos, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they put out a video. They were like, hey, we're going to do a React worldwide, where basically, you could make videos that are styled like theirs, right? And, I guess they would get a cut, you would get a cut. Actually, I don't know if you would get a cut, but basically if you do videos like theirs, you can have it, uploaded through them, right? But here's where people got fucking crazy. Basically, they said, oh, yeah, we see a lot of people putting out reaction videos, and we are not getting paid for it, so we want to monetize that. People are like, whoa, you want to trademark reaction videos? How do you trademark humans reacting to shit? So obviously everybody went fucking crazy. YouTubers are losing their minds and stuff. And this smells a lot like Sony and Let's Plays. Like, how do you trademark something? You can't trademark that. A reaction video.
I don't think it's exactly the form of a reaction video. I think that they're saying the form of a reaction video in the format they do it. Like how they set up their video. In other words, making almost a clone video. I don't know if you can actually copyright something like that.
That's what I'm saying. For example, Ellen DeGeneres, right? She did something similar on her show, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Fine Brothers tweeted out like, oh, it's kind of sad that she can do that and we don't get paid for it. It's like, you can't copyright something like that, man.
No, it's kind of like making it's kind of like making a semi-parody video and trying to make money off of that. I definitely think that I think there are certain visual things that you can copyright, but you can't copyright something like even if somebody is using your similar format, you probably can't. You definitely can't monetize off of something like that. But now, if you start using certain phrases and things that are similar or exactly the same as the other one, they may have grounds to call for legal action. But if it's just like the cutting style or the way they present it, you can't really do that.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, are we getting to that age where now we're gonna copyright formats? And remember, most things are the same format, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's very little difference out there with the way things are formatted. Comic books are a certain format, movies have a certain format. There's there's this thing that's like standard throughout. So now we've gotten to the point where we're gonna like try to copyright that. That seems kind of weird. What's next? We're gonna copyright podcasts.
I don't believe it. I think it's not a form. It's not like a format, but it's, in other words, it's essentially you're making in other words, the same sort of graphics, the same sort of things. In other words, an exact duplicate video of something that they've created, but just with the content switched around. You know what I mean? It's like making an intro, or making it. Let's say we made an animated intro to our site, right? To Throwdown, and it's literally a Naruto intro. It's essentially like that.
Yeah, but the thing is, remember, this sort of stuff has existed for years before Fine Brothers.
No. I mean, I think they're just angry that the things that are coming out now, made by other people, look very similar to one of their videos, and that they're annoyed that they're not. Of course, obviously, they're annoyed because it's essentially like one of their videos, just made by somebody else and not them.
The crazy thing is that's YouTube. Like,
that
it's
is
just
YouTube.
people copying each other's ideas. If you go to YouTube and search the boyfriend tag, the girlfriend tag, the accent tag, you're gonna get millions of hits, literally millions of hits of the same content, just with a different person doing it. So, are they gonna do that same thing on that too? And
yeah, it leads to a scary place, man. It really does.
And
because again, I'm taking it to the extreme. But what if somebody goes, oh yeah, we have the copyright on the format where 4 guys get together to talk about video games on Google Hangouts? Whoa, you know what I'm saying? So that's the shit I'm scared. I'm always scared of the potential thing they could do, to really fuck people over. You know, but
It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
to me
Go
that
ahead, Mike.
confuses me the most about it is just this idea like YouTube's supposed to be digital media. It's supposed to be an area where people can get away from like the legalities and like kind of the hierarchy and the strictness that is Hollywood. And here you
Yeah.
have someone coming in and trying to bring something over from that world to YouTube. Well, a lot of YouTube fans and stuff are going to be rebel against that because that's counterproductive to what YouTube's supposed to be. I understand that they have a brand, but they weren't even originally a brand that was doing React videos. They were doing other
Exactly.
things, and then they started doing React videos. React videos have existed before YouTube has existed. Like Beavis and Butthead did React videos. They
Mm-hmm.
literally reacted to music videos. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like this isn't something that's new. And I
Oh yeah,
think also when I
definitely.
was reading into it, they were getting into the idea that they don't. It's also how people word their titles for their videos. So they don't want it to have. You won't be able to say like Elders React to. You can't have that in your title unless you are partnered with them. So you better find a synonym for React, or you better change the word ordering, or put that title in Spanish or something. Because if you have Elders React to, apparently they can go at you. That's
Mm-hmm.
crazy to me. Like,
Yeah, it's silly.
I think about it. They want to essentially copyright a word. Like, think about that for a second, how insane this is. And, jumping off of what you said about Hollywood, I think that's what's going on now because now these guys are making so much money, right? YouTube is starting to become like Hollywood in that sense where, it's going to start bringing all those old rules. But again, that's counterproductive to what YouTube was all about. I hate to say this way, but this is the best way I can think about it. YouTube is kind of supposed to be the Wild West, That's the reason people like it so much. You don't have to deal with all that red tape and shit. But now that people are
exactly.
making so much money, all that shit from Hollywood that people wanted to get away with in the first place, it's coming to YouTube now. This is shit we got to deal with. But the thing is, these old Hollywood rules don't exactly apply to the modern age. That's the problem here. Just like with Sony and the Let's Play shit, it's like you can't do that. It's a ubiquitous term. Everybody fucking uses it. It's like
and they
when
weren't the first.
yeah, exactly. And it's like when Gene Simmons tried to fucking patent OJ. You can't do that. It's two letters, It's insane, man. So I mean, it seems like these guys are backing off from this now, but come on.
You know,
Yeah, go ahead, man.
what annoys me is if they were to be honest about why they're doing it. Because they
Yes.
kind of were in the video for a couple minutes. Like you could see where they were salty about stuff. Like we've seen a lot of people, or they didn't even say them directly. See how they try to be coy. They said we know some people have created content and seen other people make money off of it doing something in a similar light. I'm like, so that's why you're doing this. You're sitting there talking about trying to make the world a better place. I'm like, with React videos? Shut the hell up! Like, what? How are you making the world a better place? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, that was ridiculous. That was fucking stupid.
You're providing momentary entertainment, and you're doing it in a lane that's the current wave. React videos are the current wave right now. It's cool. That's not gonna be the case in like 2-3 years. So
Yeah.
I mean, you be honest about it. But they didn't even do that. They tried to put it on this. We're doing this to help you who wants to make videos, and we're doing this to help other people have their ideas not stolen. Not even forgetting, oh, by the way, yeah, there's no fees up front, but we will take a part of the money. Any money you do make, we're taking some of it because, we made React brands. So you're just going to give us money. And then they tried to equate it to, like, franchising a fast food restaurant.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
was
that's not at
horseshit.
all the same thing. Yeah, that's not the
Yeah.
same thing at all. Because when you franchise a McDonald's or Burger King, they give you everything you need to do that. You pay up front for like cost and whatnot, but they give you access to, I could put this McDonald's logo up. So whenever when someone walks by, they see McDonald's, they know what they're getting here, they go here. It's not the same thing with Fines Bros. I'm not going to be on YouTube and see a Fines Bro, this dude is making a video and Fines World is backing him. Gotta click play on that. Like, no, it's not the same. And just be honest about why you're doing it. And you couldn't have sat down and thought about this and not. I don't see how you don't see the backlash from this. They're losing subs like crazy apparently, and I'm not shocked by that. I mean, hey, it is what it is. We'll see what happens. I don't watch their stuff anyway. I don't watch React videos, so I personally don't care. But we'll see.
Yeah, I always found their videos kind of corny, to be honest. So I've never been a fan.
Extremely freaking corny.
I don't give a fuck about.
And they're all. It's that camp of YouTube and just digital media that's fake. Like the reactions aren't real reactions. You can tell like they've recorded them 20 times to get the perfect reaction. I'm like, that's not an authentic reaction. A reaction would be, this is the first time I've ever seen this. We're gonna show it to you in one take. They don't do that though. I don't know why people want to see fake reactions. It's not really reactions, it's acting. But what do I know?
You know what's real and what's fake. That's what you know, man. Man, there's so much bullshit in this world today. All right, next question. Tony, what is something you learned, anticipated, and are excited about, etc., from having a new PC? All right.
Oh shit!
So yeah, I've been talking about this for a few months now. I was like,
Let me get my popcorn. Hold on. Go ahead.
You're gonna be disappointed because I've only had this thing for 2 days, so I can't really say much. Like it's nice to have. I like doing this show without having I have fucking Skype open, I have all this shit open, no chugs, nothing. I like rendering videos fast. Thanks to torrents, basically, I was rendering videos. This is how it was before. This is how bad shit was. A 3-minute video would take 10 minutes to render. Think about a 30-minute video, how long that shit would take to render, right? Fucking hours. Now, when I first got it, 30-minute video would take me 30 minutes to render. I'm already like, okay, this is fucking amazing. This is great. But Torrance, the guy who helped me build this computer and stuff, shout out to Torrance. He wanted me to shout him out. So there you go, Torrance. He helped me set shit up and stuff because I got a really nice GPU now. Now I got a 30-minute video. I could do that shit in 15 minutes. That's pretty fucking nice. I like that. And a couple other things. I dusted off my Steam account. I've had a Steam account for years. Manny, you too. We made them at the same time for a portal.
Yeah, we did.
So I dusted it off and shit. I'm looking around, Steam. It was all right, whatever, Then I hit big picture mode. That's when I'm like, whoa, this is cool. It's like a digital marketplace like you would see on Xbox and PlayStation.
Yeah.
But a little bit cleaner. And the cool thing is, I plugged my fucking Xbox controller into my PC. I didn't have to install shit.
Yep, because what does Windows 10? What is the one thing that Windows 10 has on this thing? When you start that shit up, what do you see? Xbox.
Yeah, Xbox. So I like that. That was cool, and I'm anticipating editing this fucking shit like nothing. So I like that. I mean, the main reason I got a PC. It isn't for gaming. It's because I want to fucking just render shit really fast. I have a lot of ideas, but I can't do them if it's taking me literally like an entire day. As a matter of fact, that last episode of Throwdown we did, episode 69, we had a snafu with that, or I had to edit it. It took me, I am not exaggerating, it took me 16 hours to edit that fucking thing. The rendering was, dude, I started at 2 a.m., right? The shit finished, the whole process finished at 6 p.m. the next day, So I'm like, yo, I can't be doing shit like that. But yeah, I mean, Carl, since you're here, can you give me some more hands-on kind of questions with that? Because with the questions you asked, it's a little vague too,
Yeah. Would you consider, and we kind of talked about this on Twitter, consider getting dual monitors?
Yes. Because you guys broke it down. It's like think about it like this, right? I could have Throwdown on this screen, right? And on the screen over here, I could have the YouTube comment section or something else, The only thing is, and it's funny, every time I get a new computer, I always have to buy a new fucking desk. No exception here. This computer was way too big for my current desktop. I need to get another one. But the thing is, when I get a new desk, I could upgrade or the things. My monitor has to be a specific size because of the way my desk is built. So now I can get a new monitor. And it turns out I need a new monitor anyway. My monitor doesn't even go to 1080p. It's like 766 at most.
It's interesting because his old monitor, the monitor he currently uses is a VGA monitor. Like VGA is like old PC monitors, back in the day. But it's
we had to go get a special part so it
I was like, okay, first off, number one, when you have an awesome graphics card, you want to stick your monitor into the awesome graphics card and not in the the ones that are actually
the
inside.
CPU.
Yeah, into the CPU, because you're not going to take advantage of it. So in the CPU, yes, he has a VGA a slot in there. But the thing is that we wanted to make sure that he was getting the most out of his graphics card. So we had to buy a VGA to DVI converter, which is this little thing that goes on the end of the cable to kind of stick it in to convert it. We even had to find out if the graphics card could even convert it back into VGA.
But that's what I was gonna say. Isn't there a fidelity loss with those converters, or no?
As of now, he's probably not going to notice anything because the monitor's so tiny.
Yeah.
But once he upgrades to a DVI monitor, that is the point where he'll you'll definitely see anything.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, his monitor is like really tiny. It's a little tiny thing.
Yeah, it's only like 15 inches or maybe less than that.
Yeah, it's a tiny little thing. But at this point in time, once you get a better monitor, you'll start seeing really, you'll start seeing little details and all kinds of other.
Just some advice. I know you're getting into Street Fighter. You don't want to get for fighting games period. You don't want to get a monitor over 24 inches. You just don't.
Okay. Well, I mean, I wasn't planning on playing Street Fighter on this anyway, but.
I didn't know. I mean, I thought you were gonna play it on PC as well.
No, he's not gonna play on PC.
No way.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. This is gonna sound really dumb. I'm still gonna primarily play on my PlayStation because, and again, it's gonna sound dumb, but to me, it's important. I want those fucking trophies. Trophies are, I like having a document of the games.
No, there's gonna be like awards for playing the game on PC as well.
Yeah, I know there's awards, but it's like I've already accumulated all this shit on PlayStation. I want to keep the third-party shit on PlayStation if I can. Obviously, I'm gonna play some PC exclusives. Maybe I'll try what's the big one now? Star Citizen. Maybe I'll try that. Who knows?
Ooh. Yeah, well, you can also buy it on Xbox. Right?
Oh, really?
Isn't Star Citizen coming to Xbox?
No, it's exclusive, isn't it? Isn't it like the?
Is it coming to Xbox? No, if that's coming to Xbox, that's huge. There's no way Microsoft wouldn't have said something about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Microsoft, if you're listening to this podcast, you should try to get it.
Yeah. So let me give you guys.
I agree.
Let me give you guys the specs here, since you guys want to know about that. So I got a GeForce GTX 960 for the GPU. The CPU is an Intel Core i7 4790K at 4 gigahertz. Carlos is already impressed. I'm like, I don't know what these numbers mean. Memory 16 gigs of RAM, 15.94 usable, and then monitor bullshit. So yeah, there you go, new PC. So, but again, I mainly bought it for fucking editing purposes.
Hey Tony, how many CUDA cores the graphics card?
I don't know, Jagon. You come over.
Oh my! Please never do that voice again. Oh, that was
when I was helping Tony put out everything together, I was like, wow, man, because when you get a PC that's been put together by Micro Center or most places, they give you all the boxes because you want to send in remates and all kinds of other things. It's like, yo, Torrent, you know your stuff. There's some pretty good shit in here.
Yeah, this thing has air vents out the ass, man. Like, there's so many air vents on this thing, and if you touch it, it's cool to the touch, which is really good,
I mean, I can't remember if that was. I didn't look to see if it was water cooled. I don't know if it is.
No, it's not. But dude, it even has an air vent under it. It's fucking crazy. It costs a lot of fucking money. I'll tell you that. It costs like I would say
$2,000, right?
I mean, altogether it cost me nearly $2,000. But remember, I bought extra shit. I bought a camera, keyboard, all these other little things. But the thing is, once rebates come in, it'll be all right. But the thing is, and I just realized this, and I was talking to May about this. I'm like, yo, I spent all this money on this PC, but if I want to buy other shit for it, it's not going to cost as much, obviously. It's not going to be like a huge dump like that.
You literally pulled yourself out of you had a 7-year-old PC or more, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, when you get a newer system, you can just as easily start adding new cards to it, and if you want to up your RAM because you're doing lots of video, you want to put some more RAM inside, you do that. Even go up a video card if a new one comes out that's to your liking. So
yeah. I liked when Manny was taking apart my old PC. He the hard drives were in a cage. I know you've never seen that before.
Oh God. Okay, so what happened is that Tony needed to get all of his old data off, but rather than installing the new hard drive into the old thing, I suggest that we use an external. This is something I also got from Chris. An external cartridge deck, which essentially you just stick the hard drive into this thing and it becomes an external hard drive. It's really good. So you can, instead of, if you're running out of memory, you don't want to constantly add new hard drives to your system, you could just buy this thing and just pop out hard drives, which is great. So what I was doing, what I was doing is I went inside of his old computer, which was an HP, and literally this thing has this cage around the hard drive enclosure. So it's like, how most computers, the hard drive is attached to the case, and you just unscrew it and you pull it out.
Right.
And just take the pins out, which attach it to the motherboard. For this one, it was like is in this little cage behind something. I'm like, how the fuck do you open this? So, so literally, I went online. I'm like, okay, I find out. Oh, okay. So you got to push this in and pull it out. And I'm like, oh, okay. So now this makes sense. I'm like, whose fucking idea was it to enclose the hard drives like this?
Yeah, and then with today's cases, all you have to do is just like pull them out. Like that's all you do.
No, see, the thing is that was I think it has to do because it was an old HP thing. HP
Right.
used to do some goofy things with their cases. Like I remember one point they used to lock lock the computers, lock the cases somehow, and so that the only place that you could upgrade or go inside, or fix the inside of your computer is at an HP location. So you had to literally, they were the only ones that had the keys to these things and were able to open them up.
Oh shit.
But this one wasn't like that. But it was just weird.
But we
It's like-
did it though, man, and that was the smoothest, because I've switched computers around before a lot, right? The
Mhm.
smoothest fucking transition, man. Thanks to that shit you recommended. Pop my shit in there, took
Yeah.
all my stuff out, bam, done.
And
You
then
know?
and then from there, if you ever decide, okay, you're running out of space, you could buy a friggin' Western Digital Black hard drive, which is one of the better hard drives on the market, and get like a 3-4 terabyte thing and just pop that shit in there,
Yeah, man.
save all of your video data, because all that video data takes up a shitload of memory, and just like, all right, this is from that one.
Yeah. So, Carlos, I guess to answer your question overall, I'm very happy, and I really want to get into using this thing for its full potential, man. Fucking awesome. All right. And the last question here, name 3 people are alive or dead that that you would like to have a conversation with. Very good question. I like this one. Anyone alive or dead that you could have a conversation with, who would it be? So let's start with Mike. Who would you pick?
Oh, that's tough. I'm gonna go with Marcus Garvey. Damn, I don't know. Marcus Garvey. This is gonna be a weird mix. Marcus Garvey, maybe. Yeah, Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, and Asa Akira.
The porn star?
I'm not. Maybe, right? I don't know.
Hey, man,
That's
hey,
not why I
I'm
want to
not-
converse with her. I'm just
I'm
saying.
not-
But no, it's just like 3 people that like have like interesting. I mean, like they've lived interesting lives. I like them, stuff like that. It can't all be the same person, because if otherwise I was gonna put Langston Hughes in there, but then I'm like, I'd be getting a similar perspective. So, but an Asian woman on there, like awesome.
There you
Interesting.
go. What about you, Carlos?
Oof. So one of them that comes to mind is Neil deGrasse Tyson.
You
He's not-
motherfucker, man.
He-
You took me to mines.
Dude,
Thank
Neil
you.
deGrasse Tyson is so freaking badass, man. Like, he's smart, he's funny. Like, I would just love to have a conversation with him.
And my man's from Brooklyn.
And he's and he's from Brooklyn. And second is he's dead. His name was Christopher Hitchens. I don't know if you guys have ever
Yeah, I
heard
know
of him.
him. Yeah.
He was a famous public intellectual. He was
I'm
famous.
a big fan of him actually.
Yeah.
Nice. So yeah, like he's famous for publishing this book called what is it called? Something about how God is like how religion poisons everything or something like that. Maybe it was him, but it was pretty much the same concept. He was a famous atheist and a great debater, one of the best debaters I've ever seen. And I would just love to have a conversation with him about anything: politics, music, religion. And the third, I didn't really think about a third.
I'm still going over mine, man. This is hard.
The third would be Charles Darwin.
Ooh, good one.
Yeah, just go over like
Interesting. Okay.
just how he
I like
got
it.
into. What's up?
Oh no, I was saying I like your list. I like it. Yeah.
Thanks.
All right, Manny, what do you got?
I'd like to talk with Salvador Dali.
Ooh, that's interesting.
I feel like he might be a really interesting person to talk to.
Yeah.
Next one, I probably would say Ronnie James Dio
Yes.
and maybe David Bowie.
Ooh.
Interesting. All right. Okay, so we have Carl's already said one of mine. Neil deGrasse Tyson. I got a story about Neil deGrasse Tyson. This shit is funny. So at one Comic Con, right? I was walking around and shit. And I saw Baba Booey, from
Yeah. Howard Stern.
Show,
Mhm.
right? Howard Stern Show. So I see him and I snap a picture, right? Because there was a big crowd around him, right? I snap a picture and then I get back home and I look at the picture and I saw who he was talking to. It's fucking Neil deGrasse Tyson. If I would have known that was him, because my man was in a heavy trench coat, big hat, you couldn't see him, But I looked at him like, oh shit, that's him. Yo, if I would have known that was him, I'd have barreled my ass right through. Fuck, get out of here, Baba Booey. I'm talking to him now, And yeah, like that dude is. I love the way he breaks shit down, And again, I like how he combats ignorance and shit, It's funny if you guys saw me and Torrance were going at it about was it I'm forgetting the fucking name of it, but intelligent design, right? I'm not for that. It's ridiculous, And he, Neil deGrasse Tyson breaks down why that's a ridiculous thing really well. So definitely him. And I've always said I want to try to use my press credentials to try to meet this man somehow, And he's in New York, so may not be that hard. Next guy, kind of similar, but it's a different field of science. Michio Kaku.
Oh yeah.
This is another guy, man. Like
Yes.
Yeah. He's also another New Yorker too. I like the way he explains like theoretical physics are very hard to understand, right? But he breaks it down in a way that not only is it intelligible, but he doesn't seem like he's talking down to you. Like he seems like a regular dude, no matter what. Like you can hang out with him, have a beer, and he'll be fun. And he likes nerdy shit too. Like he's done offshoot shows, have just a little bit to do with science, but not too much. You can tell he really just likes nerdy stuff. So I would definitely like to talk to him. Now the third one, this one, it's tough because I'm trying to think of historical figures like Julius Caesar, maybe even Adolf Hitler. These guys. But I want to have fun. I want to talk to fucking Stan Lee. I think that would be like I'm pretty sure he's full of bullshit. Because I'm pretty sure all the shit Stan Lee says he doesn't even remember it. He's just like But it would just be cool just to talk to him. As a matter of fact, I want to talk to Stan Lee right now. So Mr. Stan Lee, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great.
Okay.
True believer.
All right, I'm interrupting. Fuck both of you, because I'm sitting there thinking this man's got like a super guest. We don't know that's coming on the show. I'm thinking he's about to bring, because you started motioning like you're about to add someone to the call. I'm like, oh shit, Stan Lee. No, it's just a me. It's just freaking amazing.
It's just me.
Okay.
This is something we
Stan
usually
Lee.
throw down whenever we were talking about Stan Lee. It's like we would start interviewing him because man, he does a really good impersonation of him. So Stan Lee, actually? Let me ask you this: what was it like to create Superman?
When I created Superman, I went over to Jack and I said, I need a character that needs to wear a cape and his underwear on the outside. And he told me, Stan, I got this great idea. When I saw it, I said, this isn't going to work. He has to be able to jump. His suit has to be skin tight. It has to be right.
You have way too much time in your hands to be able to do that. Like that, I don't know why you can impersonate him that well, but yeah.
It's not even practice. He just does it like that. Obviously, the joke there is like Stan Lee takes credit for shit he shouldn't be taking credit for. He created Superman,
Well, here's the thing. He gets credit for creating like 90% of the Marvel Universe, but officially he didn't create a lot of the Marvel Universe. The thing is, a lot of the characters that were created during his time, he'll get credit for creating characters like Cable, which is weird because that's way after him. Guardians of the Galaxy officially, he actually denied he actually didn't want to be in Guardians of the Galaxy because he didn't create any of the characters. But people still see him as the guy, Mr. Marvel, the guy who created every single Marvel character.
Yeah, so it's interesting. And I guess honorable mention, Kevin Smith. He seems like he'd be a pretty cool guy to talk to,
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think Stanley would be a very interesting person because
Oh yeah, that'll be the most entertaining conversation I've ever had. I'll tell you
If we're
that.
getting honorable mentions, I'm throwing Bill Nye the Science Guy on there just because he looks like I think he's intelligent. And he seems like much like Degrassi.
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Neil
Yeah,
deGrasse
like
Tyson.
Jesus Christ, just much like him, like he does a really good job of communicating complicated topics in a fashion that like laymen can understand. So I mean, I've always liked science. So to me, I mean, I understand a lot of like the complicated speech, but I know when I've tried breaking things down to people who ask me, either in jest or in seriousness, I struggle breaking it down to them just because I'm not used to it. I admire people who have that skill set. So.
Yeah, you gotta have a lot of patience for that too, man. If you really think about it.
And that's the other thing. I'm not patient, so I don't. Once I figure out that someone just doesn't know something and they're kind of dumb, it's like your parents failed you and I just stop. But they keep trying. I respect that.
Yeah, right. For fun, Manny, honorable mention. Throw somebody else in there.
Oh, honorable mention. Jeez, who else? Hugh Jackman. Why not?
That's fair enough.
He seems like maybe less Hugh Jackman. Actually, Lucy Lawless. She seems like a fun
That is a way better choice than
I like that.
What?
Yeah, I think Lucy Lawless.
Badass.
I think she looks like she's a person that likes to have fun and kind of a little wacky. And at least from her interviews, she seems like it seems interesting.
Yeah, Carlos, man, who's your honorable mention?
Oh, I would say John Lennon.
Akira Toriyama.
It's like, wait, why are you fucking up Dragon Ball, man? Just let it be.
Oh my god.
Just let it die, man.
Okay, who's your honorable mention? Go ahead, say it. I cut you off. I didn't hear it. What was it?
Oh, okay. Well, then hold on. I'm not as good as Manny, but I'll try. Hi, my name's John Lennon, and I'm from the Beatles, and I would like to talk to you, Carlos. John Lennon.
What the fuck is going on right now? Are we just being infested? Are spirits taking people over and like they're just inhabiting us now?
Google takes you.
I want to talk to Ringo Starr right now. Mr. Ringo, how are you?
Ringo, oh god.
Oh man. All he is like
a Ringo.
Hey,
He's pretty much the same. He pretty much does the same thing, right?
Yeah, peace and
He
love.
sounds like
Peace and love.
He sounds like the fucking what's his name from Animaniacs? Not Animaniacs.
Oh,
he sounds
Wacko.
Like
yes.
He sounds like Wacko.
Wacko. Yes, I'm Wacko.
That's Ringo Starr. Oh man, it's ridiculous.
Peace and love.
Yeah. All right. So let's wrap it up. A couple of things here. Because I have a cool PC now, Polanco Plays is coming back, people.
It's coming back.
About time.
So I recorded myself playing Gears of War. I actually threw a little clip on Twitter to tease. So yeah, that's going to be coming more regularly now. Mike, I didn't know you missed a show that much. So
no, I actually watched it. Like that's what I'm saying. And I'm going to issue you a challenge for one of your I'm going to call it the PP for short, Polanco Plays. Street Fighter 5. Let's get it.
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
Record some matches. Let's do that.
Yeah,
I'm going to show my army to the world. So.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah, we'll sweeten up Polanco Plays Tony versus Mike A. Or Mike A will probably whip my ass.
hey, it's even ground for both of us. I'm not good at Street Fighter 5 yet, so you never know.
That is very true. So yeah, I'll see about how frequently I get these to you. I'm definitely once a week at least. The thing is, I don't want to clog up the whole fucking site with Polanco Plays. So definitely at least once a week. So I'll be glad to bring those to you.
Good stuff.
And something else too, a new project I was telling Manny about. I'll tell you guys off there, but something else I've been toying with, just as a test to see if you guys like it or not. So we'll see about that. But yeah, it's again, Carlos, to answer your question again, that's why I like having this new PC. It opens up the world in that sense. So much shit I could do now. Great. All right, so let's wrap this up. So thank you for watching and listening. Leave us your questions in the comment section on the Coalition or on YouTube so we can answer them on the next show. Make sure to follow the Coalition at thecoalition.com. Also help support this site by donating to our Patreon page. Subscribe to Throwdown on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. And make sure to leave us some, nice reviews in iTunes, by the way, people. That helps us out. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Throwdown Show. Links are available in the description below. Once again, our show is Tony Polanco and tonight joined by Emilio Lopez.
See you later, guys, and don't forget to watch the season premiere of Venture Brothers Season 6 on Adult Swim, which I worked on.
Yay!
Nice.
When is that starting? Because I'm a big Venture Brothers fan, actually.
It's actually started today. Today was the first episode. Maybe first few episodes. I don't know if they bunched two together, but yes, it was the premiere today.
Nice. I'm looking forward to it. I love that show.
Same here.
Mike A.
Thanks for having me on the show. Thanks for everybody who supports the Throwdown. I really appreciate it, man. Keep supporting the coalition. Period, man. There's lots of good shows, lots of new content and news and information on there. Yeah, I don't know what else to tell you. Follow thecoalition.com on Twitter if you haven't already. Like Tony said, follow the Throwdown Show on Twitter. And yeah, man, just have fun, I guess.
Awesome. And Carlos Romero.
Yeah, it was pretty fun talking to you guys. Stay tuned for Otanime pretty soon.
Yes, thank you, Carlos. Otanime Friday, people. It's coming back. Episode number 13, I believe. And we're going to be talking about Code Geass Season 1. So catch up if you have it.
Which, by the way, has anybody, speaking of Code Geass, did anybody see the mashup video that somebody did? They essentially made an intro. They used the intro to Code Geass to make and used visuals from the new Star Wars film, and it actually works really well.
Crazy. I need to see that. All right, guys, so we'll see you on Throwdown episode 70. Later.
Peace.
Hey, guys.
Peace.